kill a bag.
You can kill a bag, exactly. Imagine the problem where that is basically like I could go for that. For like garbage, I could go either way. But for proper foods, I'll be like super big, like no, I don't like this. I don't like this. But sure, yeah, give me sweet, give me savory. I don't care. Give me both at the same time. I don't care. I'll be happy. Anyway, yeah. I had to give my share of that. Well, half of it because we buy those Haagen-Dazs things that are small, but still you don't want to eat a lot. You know, one of them in one sitting. So that was my way of something. Yeah. That was my way of something like, hey, honey. I'm gonna be here, but not here for the next 4 hours. So here you go. Have some ice cream.
Yeah, have my half. Yeah,
have my half. Exactly.
Fun fact about the French onion dip. If you get the Lay's one, I love that shit. But fun fact, one can is like 7.5 servings.
One can. It's like, why would you tell me that?
It's that I had that realization and I have accepted it and said, I don't care. I will kill a can if I need to. I will just be that disgusting guy.
I'll be the disgusting pig. I'll be cutting probably like a year and a half of my life. With each bag.
With each one, yeah.
With each one, yeah.
Yep. That's I found that out and I was like, no, that's a massive lie.
That's a massive lie.
No, that's not a lie at all. It's actually on the damn can. I'm like, son of a bitch, why would they show this to me? Yeah.
Make you feel guilty. Marketing done wrong.
I think so. Bastards.
Cover that shit up.
My goodness.
Actually, fun fact, or not fun, but a fact.
An interesting
fact. That nutritional label thing, that's not mandatory in in several countries. You know, I always thought that was like universal, and it's not.
I knew that. That's all U.S., my friend.
Yes,
that is all U.S. But you know what? They don't. Here's the deal. Now you go to France, and it's illegal to use preservatives, like against the federal law to use preservatives. So every food you're getting is the cleanest food you're going to get anyway. You know what I'm saying? So let's just call this what it is. French dip from France is probably way better than this canned bullshit we get from Lay's. Okay. All right. I don't even know if they have.
Call it that. Canned bullshit. And we'll still be eating it. It's like,
pretty much.
Can't help it. It's delicious.
Yeah. I found that out. It's illegal. I know it's illegal in France. I'm not where else at. But that's why bread is such a big thing there, because it only lasts a day. So some people buy bread in the morning. And they
better eat it by night.
Yeah.
Because I don't care if you're doing hot dogs or whatever the hell you do, but you're eating it.
Yeah. Because it's done by the end of the it's a rock solid by the end of the day. You know? But that really makes you think. You go, well, damn, what the hell is up with our bread? That shit'll last for a fucking week and a half in there. You know what I mean? It's like, what are we putting into that shit?
You don't want to know.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So yeah,
it's preserving the food. It's definitely not preserving us.
For sure. That's the like we went to Italy. That's one thing I did notice. We go to those cafes, and they would have pastries, and it's not like a fucking Dunkin' Donut that the moment they're low on a donut, they have like 40 more donuts thrown in there. You know what I mean? It's like, no, they have a select amount for that day. You know what I mean? And if you get there midday, you're left with the selections that are left because they're not making anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, no, this is it. This is because it's not going to last. If they make more, it's not going to last till the next day. And so,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's
how though they don't outlive. Well, they probably do, right?
I was just gonna say, I was like, maybe you don't want to look down that hole.
Okay.
You can probably see why I consider moving out of the country every week.
Every week.
but you know, party.
Well, welcome back, guys. This is Arnaldo, aka Mad Dog, and that is David, aka Dream Twister, and this is The Real, episode 280 of GG's The Mouthful podcast. Yeah. We have to stop on a dime on this.
You can't stop me like that, because then I'll have all this pent up energy. I'm already loud, and I'm already sounding super loud. Oops! So
Did you just hit the mic?
I just hit the mic. Yeah, it's a problem. It's a problem. Hold on. I wasn't even ready. I'm trying to adjust my levels so that now I don't know if I'm lowering my volume or I'm actually not being loud.
Screw it. We'll figure it out in post.
There you go. I see red lights over here. I'm like, holy shit, the people are gonna hate this, but who cares?
It'll be all right. They're already not huge fans anyway. They already tuned out at the very beginning. All right, make sure you get the volume low. Hurry. It's about to start.
Oh no. That's fine. We'll continue to like this, because you know why? Because nothing stops the signal.
Yes,
that's right.
Nothing does stop the signal at all. It may be delayed, but it never gets stopped. It still comes in, no matter what.
Nobody has noticed.
Really, because I posted it, and I also said, "Hey."
Nobody has noticed, and you don't have to bring it up. And it was technical difficulties that happened, and but it's still there.
It happens.
It's still there. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird. I think when I am editing it, and I get so automated on it that I just know, okay, this time, I'm going to do this transitions. I'm going to put this and that, and I'm just going to put them together, and I'm going to try to lower my voice as much as I can, because it came out too loud again. And no shit, that's not enough, but that's the way it's going to go. And I just put it to upload, and then I immediately turned off the computer. It's like, hello.
You did exactly what you told me not to do.
I mean,
it's like,
it must have been that.
Do as I say, not as I do.
And then the file got corrupted, and then I go, okay, let me upload it, and then shit, it's not. Why are you not uploading? Like, he was saying that the file was like 12 megabytes, and I know that for the hours that we speak, it's a hell of a lot more than just that. So I'm already concerned, like, okay, like, what was the podcast that came out that it was so, you actually was editing this one where it was such a nightmare. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was the one where my voice didn't come in.
Yeah, I don't
my
know.
channel.
Yeah. It was just blank for like 20 minutes at the beginning of the episode. It's recording, but it's recording nothing. Just zero. And that one I had three. We had three recordings, because it was you. For the right guys, what we do, we record three. We record separately, and then we tie the three the recordings together. And in this case, we had Chaos, so he had his own recording, which had to be set up in some ridiculous way where whenever he wasn't talking, it like slowed down the record. It was like, or not slowed down the it stopped recording. You know what I mean? It's like he stopped talking. He sat there silent for a little bit. It's like, oh, he's not talking. He must be done. And then the moment he starts talking again, it starts. Yeah, exactly. Exactly what it is. Press to talk. And so I don't know what option he had on his thing. And I was just like, because now what I had to do is cut in between each time and try to line up where is it that he's actually responding to. Yeah. Dude, that was
an entire 3-hour podcast, which you can imagine. I mean, this is the reason Matt Dog fired him. This is the reason why he's not longer with us. Matt Dog he got fed up after that. It's like, nope, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid that's not gonna work out.
You are the weakest link, sir.
Can you send the next one, please? The next fair share. We are revolving fair share.
I gotta
Who's
tell
gonna be
you,
the victim?
that was the most Frankenstein episode I have ever had to stitch together.
You don't remember
And
that what episode number it was? Because I would love
no,
to give it a
no,
listen.
I want to forget. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know.
Is the
Uh,
episode 0?
yeah. Our
It's
25
TLC.
minute episodes at the very beginning with the recording our phone was like 100 times better than whatever the hell that thing
Wow.
was. It was just like, oh my god. The
The
episode again ended up
Frankensound.
turning out okay, but it's just the putting it together. Dude, it took days. It was just
It
like,
took
this is
days.
taking,
Yeah, I
it took
remember.
days. It was like,
It
oh my
took your
god.
weekend
It's like, yeah, my entire weekend went to just trying to correct this damn thing. Anyway, sir, other than that, how are you, sir? How was the week for you? How did the week go?
It was pretty good actually. There's a surprising amount of games coming out, and games that have come out that have been surprising. So
Oh, nice. Well said, sir. Well said.
It was yeah, a lot to unpack. I always I don't I don't dabble too much on a lot of them though, so I just dedicated myself to the one in particular, and then a little bit of the other, which I'm here to talk about. Let's
get
finish
the
intro
intros
before we
going,
actually
of
go.
course.
Yeah.
Guys, if this is your first time tuning in, first off, thank you so much for joining us. But please go to goodgame.rocks and join the conversation. That takes you right to our Facebook group. And of course, if you're listening to this on any of the podcast services, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with everyone. What we normally do, guys, is we go into first what we have been up to, move on to various news items, and then of course we finish with the hot topic of the week. This week's hot topic: overrated or misunderstood.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That sounds like a loop. That sounds like a loop.
Wow.
Overrated and misunderstood. It always happens.
Yeah.
You know,
always in a loop.
Always in a loop, you know.
So if you haven't heard, a particular game was released this week to what can only be called as insane reviews. That game, of course, is Arcane Studios.
Yay! No. Okay.
Arcane Studios' Deathloop, and a game that I don't think either of us pegged as going to be bad. But we really pegged it as going to be, that's probably just going to be an average to good game. And lo and behold, that is not what the reviews have been saying. As a matter of fact, it's got several 10s and some game of the year already. Game of the year talks.
Game of the year, son. I heard that there was at least one outlet that was comparing it to one of the best games of all time.
Yeah. So obviously,
yes.
We couldn't let this week pass and not do it. I was saying I was going to get it on a sale. I was going to wait for whatever. And after that, I was like, yeah, I need to know what the hell's going on. So I went ahead and bit the bullet, and I did purchase the game. And so our hot topic will be particularly to one, I'll give my impressions of what it is, and then kind of gauge what how does this compare to other games? Is this an exaggeration? Is the game overrated, or is it that those who are, because there is some voice of opposition, believe it or not critically, but just some gamers saying that it's not everything's that's cracked up to be. So are they looking at it and just misunderstanding its merits? And so that's going to be the hot topic, and we'll talk about that much later on in the show, probably closer to 1 o'clock in the morning. But well, let's go ahead and start with what we always start with, and that is, of course, what we have been up to, Mr. David Santos.
Yay!
That's all right.
I mean, it came out this week also. I just want to remind people that Tales of Arise came out this week also, before Deathloop killed it and took his thunder away.
Literally.
And people are no longer like, you don't hear anybody talk about. No, let me tell you
So
a
much
little
so
bit.
that we were talking about. I'm sorry, but so much so when I was like, because I was like, man, you know, no, you was like, we should get this. We should, if we're going to talk about it, we should, one of us has to get the game. And you're like, well, you do it because I already bought a game. And I'm like, really? What game did you buy? And you said Tales of Arise. Like, oh yeah, that did come out this year. So overshadowed, the poor thing.
But that was another one that honestly, it was just another surprise. It was just, you know, listening to the ravings and the reviews and people talking generally positive about this game. Now, not as stellar as they were, you know, as they started talking about Deathloop, but like I didn't know about Deathloop at that point. A and B, I was just curious to see what I played the demo.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was curious about it because I was like, oh, you know, JRPG Tales. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of the Tales series. I've only played Tales of Vesperia for a little bit, and like it didn't grab me. You know, like it looked fine for its time, which was on the time of the Xbox 360.
Okay.
So that means I guess I own that game still
somewhere. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I still have it on my Xbox library somewhere. But I wasn't like it didn't fully grab me. You know, it was your perfect B tier JRPG, and ain't nobody had time for that. So so yeah, because even the fighting was kind of like meh, you know. It looked actiony, but you still has menus, so like it wasn't doing anything particularly great. I mean, I remember it being actiony, you know, more action than your typical menu driven, you know, JRPG games. But like the story was kind of meh, and I didn't care that much. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Tales of Arise. The thing that grabbed me was, well, I played the demo, and I like what I saw. The graphics were, you know, really nice, and it looked interesting. The fighting in particular was a little hectic, but I think that was because it's the demo, so it tries to show you like everything. Like the demo has, it's I guess an area of the game, all the characters unlocked. So, and you get to pick like which one you want to main for that demo.
So not something you would normally have in the game, just because just
no. You start when you start with your character. Yeah, there is a protagonist, or a couple of protagonists, let's call them. But the demo itself like lets you like, okay, you want to play with this character now, play with this character, and it's cool because it gives you a taste of every fighting style and the difference in controlling them and all that. But because everything is open, like it presents you with so many things to do at once that it can, I'll be honest with you, that demo, it could have gone either way. It could have been, oh, this is awesome, look at all the cool things that I'm doing, or I don't know what the hell I'm doing. This is just happening on the screen, and I am, you know, it's shit is flying and things are exploding, and I don't even know what button this does and why does this button does that, and that was my first impression.
Wow.
But I kept on it because I kept hearing a lot of people talking good reviews on it overall, and I was like, yeah, I guess I'm at a good point in Dark Souls where I could put it aside for a little bit, Dark Souls 3 that I'm playing, and try something else. You know, let me try it. Even if I don't stick to it long enough, at least I'll fucking have something else to talk about rather than just talk about Dark Souls again. So, what is Tales of Arise? Tales of Arise is a JRPG developed by
J-ass JRPG.
J-ass anime high anime, holy shit, high anime driven. I mean, I'm talking about, you know how an anime series usually it's like every series starts with this like super blaring, flamboyant score piece at the beginning, like
Yeah.
music intro, where it introduces all the characters and it has all this crazy fast. No, not that. Not that. That's another. That's different. You call it best. Those are the ones that are. What the hell did you call them?
Just really bombastic.
Bombastic, yes, those bombastic. The ones that I'm talking are more flamboyant. What I mean is like they go very, very pop music.
Okay.
Heavy, fast cuts, fast editing cuts, just trying to show you each character, what they do, like camera panning like crazily around, a lot of like ass and boob shots and in your face and stuff. Well, maybe not as many, but it's anime, so of course. But so it gives you that introduction, that crazy introduction, very, very anime. And then it starts the game. So like I said, games published by that Bandai Namco, you guys already know. Out or PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One S, and PC, and probably Switch also. No, there's no Switch version.
Oh, okay.
But the game was meant to, and I learned this recently. The game was meant to come out in 2020, but of course, pandemic stuff and stuff like that delayed it a little bit. But also the fact that they wanted it to come out on more consoles. So I don't know if this was meant to be like PS4 and Xbox One release. Because it's not like, I mean, the graphics are good, but it's not like anything that a PS4 or PS5 couldn't handle, Yeah. A PS4 and an Xbox One couldn't handle. Obviously, a PS1 run this like flawlessly, and a Series X and S also. So, but I bought it on PC because I wanted to see the options on PC. It doesn't have super widescreen support, but I am happy. But I am happy with the overall port. You would call it that. It does look very well, and it does give a fair amount of options, and it does recognize when you are using the keyboard and gives you keyboard prompts, or when you grab the controller, and it immediately switches to the gamepad layout. The gamepad layout kind of crazy at first. Maybe not as bad as I first thought it was. When I first grabbed it, I was like, what the hell is this nonsense? Like, if you want to dodge, you have to press 2 buttons. Before I realized that, oh no, silly, you're just pressing 1 button. The other one is to tell the direction where you want to to dodge, which is actually the way normal dodges work on every other game. Still though, the dodge button is the trigger, which is still weird. So I was not.
Yeah. I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, I was not half wrong. If it would have been like the B button or the circle button, like those devout to the sacred symbols like to call them, that would have felt normal. But no, it has some weird mappings. At first, I remapped the controllers, but I hate doing that. I hate. And this is me. This is a stupid thing of mine among many. I don't like if the developer sets up a way of playing the game, unless it's like ridiculously horrible. I try to get used to the way the developers wants me to play the game.
That's not just you. That's me too. I don't. I almost never reroute my.
There's one thing that you do find stupid, and you change it, which is the up or down, the y-axis.
Yeah, but that's really more. That's really more
a change.
True, but that's yeah, but that's not. I don't. Yes, I agree. That is a change.
I
But that's
think
definitely not changing the layout. You know what I
no,
mean?
no, 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 no.
It's
I
just
know,
changing the
I know.
look. Yeah.
I'm just saying in the sense that if it was me and suddenly you have that another y-axis and that's the way it was meant to be, I will try to get used to that. I will not change it myself.
Mm. I'm pretty
That's
sure
how I
you
do it.
did because that's exactly how GoldenEye played. So,
I didn't
so
play GoldenEye, so
no. Oh, okay, well,
no, I
that's
never. I
why
didn't.
I broke for the record.
That's why you broke exactly. It's like, oh, you chose the left-handed way. Oh no, that's how you learn. You know
Yeah,
that now
pretty
you.
much.
So anyway, to give you a little bit of the story of Tales of Arise without going into any type of spoilers, the game set itself. Um, well, it opens source. It says like 3 centuries ago, the Renans invaded and conquered Dana, which is a planet, enslaving the population and dividing the land into 5 isolated realms, each ruled by a lord.
Of course.
So, of course, well,
There's always a lord of the realm.
oh no, wait, it gets better. So, in this game, you play as Iron Mask, a denim. Well, that's not his real name. His real name is actually a reveal slightly bit later on. I'm not gonna say. I mean, the demo shows his name, so it doesn't matter. The thing is that you literally are wearing an iron mask at the beginning of the game, and you play as this character, a Danan man. Stop me if you heard this.
Yeah.
With no memories of his past.
Wow.
It wouldn't be a JRPG without the hero having, having amnesia.
Of some sort, yeah. Of some sort, yeah.
It needed to, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. The amnesia it's never a problem with the way his skill, his masteries, the way he fights, or anything like that. He just doesn't remember. It wouldn't remember his or her name. JRPG games, so it's funny how it's like that. I think it's meant to
Born Identity, though. I mean, that happened in Born Identity, right?
Yeah,
he was an assassin and didn't realize it, but he can easily take people out, and he's like, "Why am I doing this?
How come I know this?"
Yeah. Well, it's possible. I'm going to throw that in the realm of possibility.
I think it's like the every JRPG game college humor video says that, you don't have a name. Of course, it makes the player easier to project into, the main character. It's like, yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course, that's what they do. Until the part where they actually give him a name. And then it's like, oh, okay. I guess I'm not this person anymore. Yeah. So this person has no memories of his past and no ability to feel physical pain. So I have to specify there's physical pain because the character himself, he is like very, very he's a Matt, though. He's very selfless. He's always there to help others, and he doesn't mind getting hurt in the process, even to help others, to the point where, remember, he doesn't feel pain. So some of those things could literally kill him if he's not careful. Anyway, during your gameplay, you meet a Renan woman named Shion Weimer is Mary's Daymore. So, of course, you need to know the character is important, and it's also from the opposite side when they have like 7 last names.
Oh my god! Okay.
She's a woman with mysterious powers that include some sort of defense mechanism that prevent people from getting close to her. Lest they want to be shocked. And I mean that literally, like shock, like as in current flowing through them if they touch her. And she's very tsundere also, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's meant to be like the type of like anime female characters usually that are very like attitudey, like bitchy almost.
Okay.
So yeah, and of course it goes with her whole theme here where she's beautiful, she's mysterious, she has thorns because you can't touch
she's
right.
thorny. Yeah, I got you.
She's thorny, exactly.
Prickly is what I mean by
Prickly,
that, guys.
yes, prickly. Yeah,
Keep your heads out of the gutter, guys.
No,
Jeez.
I was thinking more like these people imagine it that she literally has like thorns, like a rose. It's like, no, we're speaking in the allegory, but yes, prickly is a good way of putting it. So anyway, the two of them, along with a cast that they meet along the way, they take on a journey to try to overtake the five lords, basically. And the five lords each of them have divided this land to 5 regions. So the things I like, I'm not ready to give it like a review or anything. This is just going to be my first take because I only put 11 hours on it before I stopped and went back to Dark Souls. Not because of anything bad. It's just because I can't leave Dark Souls like that. I need to finish that journey and then I'll go back. So, but I was having a hell of a good time with it.
I was going to say in that. So it's about 10 hours. Is it locked for being the next thing you jump into? Excuse me.
Oh, for sure. I do I already started it. It does have an interesting story. I would say this is a very good JRPG to get into if that's what you're craving right now. I'm not saying it's stellar, and this is not Final Fantasy VII Remake or like anything like super, super crazy. This is just, hey, if you want a different JRPG with a very fast-paced fighting system with great visuals and great animations, like this is top-notch. This is surely their best, like I mentioned, even the controllers even at first they were kind of annoying to get used to, but luckily once you figure them out, they feel pretty good. The music, I'll say it's appropriate. It's not necessarily super memorable, but it's not bad either. Okay. It does its job.
No.
Oh, it's not Final Fantasy VII Remake. No, nothing is. But it's also not in the bombastic level of...
Not Dragon Quest either. It's almost like someone's literally yelling in your ear as you listen to it. I swear to God. We're literally... We can literally record this and play it side by side with it, and you'll be like, "I can't tell."
Yeah, I can't tell. Yeah, no, it's perfect rendition. Yep. That's a problem, and I'm with you. And I didn't see it at first because I wasn't looking into it, but the moment you pointed it out, it's like now I cannot unhear it, and I could not go back to that game. And I'm talking about
that was not my intent.
Dragon Quest. No, I know, but at the same time, you might have just saved me. So, because I also don't like the Toriyama art style at all. Like I hate it. Like I super mega hate it. Like I don't know why I bought that game in the first place. I didn't pay full price for it, so I probably grabbed it on a sale, and that's what it was. But mentira, it was Game Pass. What am I talking about? It was Game Pass. Yeah. So, but yeah, no. The music in Tales of Arise, it's a little bit more like strings and a little bit less bombastic. It's still enjoyable for the world. Makes the quote unquote overworld feel like an enjoyable place to explore. You do want to explore. It doesn't have what do you call when you're fighting out of nowhere.
Random battles,
random. Exactly. It doesn't have random encounters. Like you always see the enemy very clearly where they're at. The only thing that bothers me is that you don't attack them. Like I'm thinking like Persona, where you see the enemy, you attack them, and you attack first, then you get like a bonus,
The preemptive attack.
the
Yeah.
preemptive attack. And if they hit you first, then they get the preemptive attack. But no, it's nothing.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
That level of
Is it,
tactical. Nope.
is there any type of preemptive and they get on you?
No.
It just does it randomly? No.
It hasn't. No, because you don't enter battle unless you want to. So, and entering battle means get close to the area where the enemy is, and then we'll start fighting. If you don't get anywhere close, they're not going to try to pursue you too much, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you can completely like eliminate that chance of encounter, like if you don't want to. Gotcha. Which to me it kind of sucked. I never minded the random encounters because it gave it a like a level of like stress, you know. But it was good stress, you know. It was, you know, I have my save. I've already saved my game, so what's the worst that can happen? If I super mega die here, I'll probably lose like a few minutes, you know. Mm-hmm. But I understand why some people are not fond of it, and I always thought that games where you saw the enemies, but at least you had the chance of attacking them, like Persona. Like this struck a nice balance. Yeah. On this one, you kind of have to go in. Once you go in, the battle starts. It doesn't matter. It's not time. Like it's not turn based. So it really doesn't matter who goes first. So I guess that's the. That's the reason.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Exactly. Because you can still rush them then. Yeah.
Exactly. Because once you're in battle, you're in full action mode. You're controlling your characters. You're not. I mean, you can pause. If one of your characters suddenly needs healing, you can pause the action and force the healing, you know. But for the most part, the healer already know his or her role, so they will heal you when needed. The AI it does a pretty decent job of keeping you alive, you know. Unless you got stupid and you got in a fight that you shouldn't have. And there is a possibility of getting into a fight that you shouldn't have. Makes sense. I noticed, I got a quest very early. They wanted me to kill a super boss. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm going to get out of this area. So, and I've grinded a little bit. So I'm probably strong enough to take him now. Let's go ahead and go. Before I leave the area, let me go ahead and take him down and complete this quest. Nope. He was like a level 41 character, and my characters were like level 11 or some shit like that. It's like I got decimated in less than 3 seconds. I was like, okay, wow. I see what you did there, game. I hadn't died until that point.
Well played, game.
So we're, you know, and even if you die, the most that happens is that like you pick up. You know, it doesn't show you like a game over screen or anything like that. You just wake up like, oh. And if you miss if you lose something, like I don't know what it is, honestly, I didn't notice losing anything in particular. You kind of just like wake up, pick up from when you left off, which again feels a little baby mode-ish, you know. But man, the fights, the battles are so cool. I gotta give it to them.
That's all that matters. Yeah,
it is very fun. I'll invite you. Like, this is not a game that I think you'll be in any mindset to play right now, or anytime soon even. But I'll download the demo if you're curious, just so you can experience at least the battle and how it looks and all that. And I think the demo will show you two things. The first one is that you're not gonna play this game, but the second one is like, oh damn! At least they did the fighting. They made it fun, you know. When I was trying to grind for levels, I was looking for the next fight. I was actively searching for monsters. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, to be fair, it has been on my watch list. Only because I haven't touched any of the Tales series. But this particular one popped up and people are like, man, this is, you know, even if you don't care for the Tales series, you really need to, you know, if you like, you know, any type of RPG, that you really want to try to check this out. So it's kind of been on my radar. And really quick news piece. I know we're not there yet, but I just wanted to, because I just stumbled upon this. Tales of Arise has already hit an impressive milestone, hitting 1 million units sold.
Wow!
So just throw that out there. It's actually not only is it a GG, it's also doing very well commercially. So I
Wow.
don't know if I'll jump on it immediately because I also don't know the length of some of these games. And whenever I hear JRPG, you know, I cringe a little bit thinking, oh, fucking please don't be more than 80 to 100 hours or something like that. You know, it's like, please.
Don't be Persona 5
Don't
again.
be Persona 5. And don't get me wrong, Persona 5 is an excellent game. I'm not saying that. It's just, you know, I don't have the time to divulge it, to devote to that. And so, anyway, I'm sorry. It is on my radar. I probably will try the demo just to.
Just to get it. I mean, don't be surprised if at first the options are kind of overwhelming because, I mean, there will be. There's just a lot of things that you can do. A lot of the control mechanics are not going to make a lot of sense. Not that they're impossible to figure out, but it's too many things. The cool thing is that depending on the character you're selecting, that could change drastically. Like the female character that you meet along the way very early in the game, Shion, she has a ranged weapon. She has like a gun. Oh, and
Nice.
I didn't mention the setting itself is kind of like medieval, but the opposing force, of course, the conquering force is very high tech. So
as per usual,
another JRPG trope check marked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the weirdly advanced evil opposing force. But so she has this ranged weapon that you kind of have to like know how to, not like a first person shooter or anything like that, or third person shooter, but you kind of have to. You're not slashing with the sort of like what you are with the main character. And then there's another one that is more, you know, that is based on magic, of course, because it'll do that. And so far, those are the three that I have uncovered. There's two more that the demo shows you, and I've seen them in battle. The battles are also very, very cool because as you're fighting, you can synergize with those other characters and like do combo attacks. Combination of attacks between different characters, and again, all of them look amazing when they're performed, and they're quick. Also, I'm not talking about like summons or anything like that. That takes a while.
Yeah.
Like,
I've seen some of it. Yeah, it's like it's maybe a few seconds or something like that, but they're pretty dynamic, very dynamic.
They're exactly. And they go in, they show it, and it goes out. You're still in control the whole battle. You could decide if you want to just your main character, or if you want to have control of the entire party. I'm still not ready for that because again, even with the little bit that the game gives you at first, I feel like it's still a little like it could be overwhelming. Maybe not. Maybe I should try it and see how it is to change between characters. The only problem is that I don't think that it has the smooth way of changing between characters that Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy VII remake had, where you just press a button and now you're controlling, Tifa, or now you're controlling. So it doesn't have that. Like, I don't want to dunk into a menu to select the character I'm going to play because that's not fun. The game does its hardest to try to avoid you from doing that during battle. So why should I have to? Unless you just want to play a particular character for a while, and maybe that's what you will do, and that'll be okay. So the characters themselves, very likable. I got no problem. No problem.
How's the
with
voice
them.
acting?
Voice acting is good.
Good. Okay.
Voice acting is
that's usually one of my concerns when it comes to JRPGs. And usually because it's so just odd that I'm like, let me just put on Japanese because at least maybe it'll be okay this way.
I tried to put the demo on that. Like, let me try the Japanese just to see if I want to stick like this. But unfortunately, during battles they're very vocal, and part of it you kind of want to know what they're saying, but you don't have time to read the subtitles. So, so at that point, it's like, okay, I'll switch. I'll put the English voiceover because it's not badly done. So far, like I didn't have any problem with it. To be honest, the game actually started kind of strong in the sense of. Like not in the sense of like super actiony, like in the moment, like not anything like that, but more like, this is an interesting setting. This is not you waking up in bed and your mom is waking you up, and the inciting incident is gonna happen. Fair is gonna happen soon. You should probably visit your friend, and it's nothing like that. Like you immediately in this like drabby. Almost volcanic section of the world where you're a slave and you are treated like a slave, and you see the treatment to other slaves in front of you, and everything looks very, very unfair. There are things that that kind of get you upset that, man, these people are living this life and these lives, and it does a good job of setting the tone, Okay. The tone, I don't mean to say that it goes like super serious or anything like that, but it's also not playing it
safe,
very casually, with things, either,
Yeah.
So it's also, I did say one in a million times. It's very anime, but so far nothing has been overtly sexualized either. There's no characters that you will have a problem if your wife suddenly walks into the room to see what you're playing. Like there's nothing offensive to that. Nothing to that sort. So you don't have to worry about that on that front. But yeah, the story opens strong and it keeps you engaged. Like I said, I stopped playing, but it was not because I was getting bored. I am a little worried, however, on one thing.
Okay.
And that is, I did not like that Persona 5 did this. And now that in retrospect, I think like all the Personas have actually done this. So maybe I just got tired of this, which is, now I'm going to get to the new section, to the new part that opens up. Now I get to meet the character representing this part, and that character joins my party, and we're gonna do everything on that part until we liberate that or whatever happens, and then I'm gonna jump to the next part where now I get my other character. It gets very. It seems to get into like a repetitive formula at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're gonna get to the next place to meet your new companion, which is gonna help you in this section, and and like I'm hoping that it doesn't get that that you could tell so easily. That'll suck a little bit.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
And I've heard that the PS4 and Xbox One versions seem to have some small technical issues. I don't own this version, so I don't know. I just read a little bit of it. Hopefully it's not something major, because I don't think this is the type of game that looks like you have to have a current console, a PS5 or an Xbox Series, to be able to play it at its full glory. Maybe if you want to play in 4K, sure, that's probably what it is. But it's the Unreal Engine. The Unreal Engine, it kind of scales very well. Yeah, exactly. Other thing also, the graphics are pretty, but there's a lot of popping, unfortunately, which is kind of like, come on, you couldn't. I mean, especially when you're playing on the current gen consoles, it's like these consoles have a speedy enough, SSDs and bus capacity to be able to minimize, if not almost eliminate, the pop-in.
I agree.
It kind of like it. It's lame. It sucks that the world is so beautiful, but and you're looking at an empty area, but you just walk 3 steps and suddenly there the characters appear as if out of nowhere. It's not terrible, but it is annoying because it is noticeable. Uh but yeah, man, that is
That's
Tales of Arise, released this week. Last week. Oh yeah, last week. That's right. That's right, because we talked about the demo and all that. A lot of fun. Definitely suggest checking it out if you are looking into a new JRPG game. Probably the best that they've had, from what I'm hearing.
From one in the I don't know much of the series, but everyone seems to be like, man, they figured it out. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And the good thing is that they're not it's like Final Fantasy. They're not related. The worlds are not related. So it's not like you have to have played the previous one to understand, what's going on this one. I forgot to mention some sucky monetization on it that shouldn't be in this game. But of course, it's sad that they do this, but they do have the thing that you buy that suddenly the doubler, the experience doubler, and yeah. Now, so far, I haven't heard of any reports or experienced it myself that I felt like the game wasn't progressing my character properly. Yeah. So it feels is more.
So you haven't had to grind, right? You haven't felt the need to grind, even though technically, like I default to some light grind.
Yeah, me too.
This sounds a little weird, but some light grind as I play our JRPGs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like to feel like a little taken down, and also with the fighting being this fun, like I'm constantly meeting all monsters head on, and granted, some of those fights could get challenging if you like you have to pay attention to what you're doing, but yeah, it does worth mention because like it'll have tons of skins for your characters that make absolutely no sense whatsoever. Like, and the area, like let's say I'm playing in a snow area, I can put my character wearing a bikini. And I'm not gonna pay for that, but the option is there. Hey, Persona did it also. True. On Persona, I'll be honest with you. I did buy a few of those, but it wasn't necessarily because of the skins. It was more the fact that, oh shit, this had the soundtrack or at least a couple of the songs from the games that I like. So it'll be cool if I can switch the battle. The battle music to one of the battle music on the other game. That was until I realized that the Persona 5 battle game is amazing and I would never want to change it. Sorry, but you never see it coming. What's it called? It's what it's called. That theme, fucking spectacular. I forget what it's actually called. The song, the actual theme, the battle theme.
The battle theme. Shortly before. Oh, hell yeah, dude.
It is.
It is
phenomenal. Gets you pumped up.
You're ready to take them on. Yep.
Yes, you are a phantom thief at that point.
It is excellent, dude.
Yeah. Much better than 3s. Much better than 4. And I liked 4, but 4 was a little too popish for what was happening. This one fucking nailed it. Anyway, Tales of Vesperia. Tales of Arise.
Arise, I was gonna say.
The Tales of Vesperia, Tales of what's the other one?
Cisteria
or something like that.
There's a bunch of Tales game.
Yeah. This is that like their 20-something game, because believe it or not, they have been since the Super Nintendo, or probably even before
Tales
that.
of Crestoria, Tales of the Rays, Tales of Berseria, Tales of Cisteria, Asteria, Tales of Link. Oh, interesting. Tales of Symphonia. I remember that one.
I remember Symphonia.
Exilia, or maybe it's just Zilia. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, it's a bunch.
Damn.
Tales of
That's big.
Fantasia, Tales of Graces.
Fantasia, I don't remember that one. I remember Tales of Graces. Damn. So
Yeah.
okay, so
There's a
they have
bunch.
they
Yeah.
have been I mean, it is honestly, I call them I endearly call them B tier JRPGs. They're probably not. They're probably like best in class for their type. Very action. Action oriented. It's just none of them called my attention, and the only reason why I even looked this way on this one was
Fuck this
that
way.
it looked
Sorry.
that the reviews were phenomenal. Man. Anyway, I also been playing Dark Souls 3. Surprise! I defeated the what are they called? The Twin Princes.
Oh yeah, fuck. What were they called? I think that's what they call this. Twin
The
Princes.
Lothric Princes.
The Princes of Lothric.
Yeah, Princes of. Anyway, hell of a fight, man. It was really cool.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Definitely fuck those. Yeah, definitely. But I like when the boss fights have I enjoyed that the boss fight had a little bit more personality than all the other bosses from the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I did enjoy that aspect, because they have a little bit of cutscene, and then in the middle,
a little bit of talking,
a little bit of talking, and it's like it's cool. It's a cool presentation.
Do you? So here's a question for you:
Uh-huh.
Do you so far understand, based on whatever lore you've actually read, know what they're talking about?
Yes and no. I will definitely need to read the Dark Souls Bible once I'm done with it.
Okay.
Because even yesterday when I sent you that picture, it's like, hey man, so I've been capturing this Lord Cinders. And the game wants me to put them in the thrones, but if I remember correctly, there's always the other path, and I kind of want to explore. So is this required, or can I not?
So that's how you know you're not even listening to the tale. You're supposed to be bringing the cinders.
I know
to their thrones. I mean, that's literally the like if you think of the first Dark Souls.
Yes,
you are collecting the souls to bring it to the little chalice, whatever you have to pour them in. So yes, that's part of it. That's what, but when I saw it, I was like, he really has no idea what he's doing. He's just doing the next path.
Here we are. on the first one, you also have the option of not doing that and just walking away.
No. That's at the end. And yes, you didn't know that, and neither did I. That's not what I'm talking about. It's like you needed to collect Frampt, the snake, said you need to collect the Lord's souls, and you need to bring them to this what the fuck was it called? This thing you got from the queen with the big breasts.
Yeah.
What the fuck was it called?
It was like a chalice of sorts. Or...
You had to bring the souls and put them here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's literally that's the goal. That's what you're trying to do.
That's what I'm doing right now.
So yeah. So that's
now
exactly.
No chalice. Now I bring them to their thrones. Because even at one point I was thinking like, are these the souls? Can I just consume these souls and I change the whole?
See, there's the thing. There's a difference between the embers, the cinders, and there's a difference between the souls. You have the souls, and you can use that with the small little king dude, and you can transmute them into different weapons. So yes, do that with the boss souls for sure. But the cinders, there's no other purpose for them. It's that you need to put them onto those thrones so that it'll
like I tell you, I even grab an Estus. Well, first you told me, every time you die, you get a little bit more zombified. So far, that has never fucking happened. So you obviously did something that I didn't do. And I am completely human. I've always been human, and I have no problem.
There is a way of staying human. So you may have whatever I don't know what you grabbed as your first item in the end at the beginning, but there is a way of staying human. There is a way, and I just never
probably
did.
A key or something. I didn't. I think what it was. It was probably that little dude, because that little dude kept offering me the option of discovering my inner power or some shit like that, and I'm like, no, dude, I don't know. This is Dark Souls. Trust no one. I don't know what your thing is. This is probably
I did use him. I was like, you gonna give me whatever? Do it. Let's do it.
What does it do? Does it actually?
So what he does, he gives you he allows you to basically move one more level up on any of the things.
Also, he was true.
Yeah, and he's not lying. However, there is a limit. You know what I mean? And once you hit that limit, you'll see what happens at that point. But nothing poor to you. But yes, I think you get a good 5 or 6 additional levels from him. So that was just like, hell,
really?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. Oh, hell
I
yeah.
can fucking be using those. Damn it. You see, I hate Dark Souls. It's always so freaking like I was like, no, dude.
I didn't know. And I'm
like,
going,
nope.
I'm going, he just gave me this thing. And I was speaking to Chaos at this point, and I was like, hey, he goes, yeah, but don't you think that's a little strange? Nobody gives you anything for free. I'm like, I know, but I'm looking over all my items and my souls, and everything's the same. So nothing's changed. So
maybe that's what made you into a zombie.
It could be. While I was which I was able to. Again, there's ways of getting out of that as well. I just never did. I was like, whatever, My Khaleesi was a zombie. It is what it is.
Okay, yeah, no, my character has remained the same.
But it was all
character.
cosmetic. From what I can tell, it was all cosmetic. Nothing.
No, I mean, not if you're getting 5 extra levels that I don't have now because my guy's dead. My guy just suddenly like keeled over and died. Like I just came back to talk to him to check on him, and he was dead. I was like, oh, okay. Thanks, guys, for notifying me that he was into any sort of problem,
Did anybody notice he had an heart issue or something, guys?
I know. It's like, hey, and he's still there. Also,
he remains there
every now and then. It's like, hey, buddy, and I kind of like kick him to see you. Like, hey, you need anything? Yeah. I want to head to Anne Orlando if you need me to pick up anything on the way. Okay, no, I guess you're super dead.
I feel like Anne Orlando has some sort of something that can probably help your predicament. Just let me know. Just write something on this list.
Yeah,
so I can maybe help you out in some way. That's a shame. Well, yeah, early on, I used them, and I want to say it was about easily 5 or 6 levels up, and I was just like, man, he's your true whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, let's do this. What is your true thing? Your true thing is you're a hollow, right? You're a human,
yes.
And so that's probably where that came from. But I also had ways of getting out of that. There was a stone that I can use, and it would take away and put my character back. But of course, if you die a few times, then you end up hollowing again. Which in Dark Souls is not hard to do.
Which is dark. Yeah, exactly. So at the end, it's like, so no, my character has never been.
It makes sense now. I didn't know that. It makes perfect sense that was most likely what.
That's probably what. Got you. Yeah, because I did.
We just learned something together. Awesome.
I'm surprised that you haven't delved into it.
More. I didn't know. Well, because he did his thing and so he's keeled over in yours. Is there anybody else in that hallway?
On that hallway with him?
Yeah.
I mean, there's people on the hallway around, but not with him.
In that hallway. Literally.
Yeah.
Like a few feet from him. There's another person in front of him.
Oh, no, not a few. No.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So there's a character that pops up, and I think there's this particular storyline that I never followed through with. And she was of a faction that was opposing to his faction. So I just always assumed she took him out. You know what I mean?
Oh, you know what? So there was this lady that I met that got really peeved the fact that I joined the.
No, not her. I know who she is. That's not who it is.
The cult, not the cult, but the
when you hold the finger with the fingers. You give it No, I know who you're talking about there.
All right.
I know who you're talking about there. That's not the same. That's not the same woman. There's another woman, and she's kind of dressed all in black. And
she's so cool, man. This is I do like that. I do like our experiences are completely different. Right now, I found a fire. You remember those Firelink thingies that you find, and that you found on the first game? That those were the things that you could actually make your bonfires give you more Estus flasks.
Yes.
So it looks like one of those. It looks exactly like one of those, but it doesn't serve the same purpose. I don't know what the purpose is, The only thing that the only time that I get a prompt to give it to someone is when I talk to the firekeeper on Firelink Shrine. But I'm like, I don't want to give you this. This might come in handy. I don't know when I'm gonna use this later on. I screw you. Find your own.
What was it?
Huh?
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I still have it. Every time it asks me to, if I wanted to give it to her, I'm like, nope. I'm gonna keep this because this is probably gonna come in handy later on if I know this game. Anyway, I'm lost again. I don't know where to go.
How many Lords of Cinders do you have?
I think I have all of them. I think I have.
You shouldn't be lost. If you have all of them and you would have spoken to the firekeeper, so she would have. That's what she's waiting for the record. She's waiting for you to get them all so we can move on to the next part of the story. So if you've spoken to her since and she hasn't brought it up, then you don't have them all. Or your game has fucked up somehow, but I doubt that.
So what? I mean, wasn't the prince the last one?
I mean, remember, there's no straight line in these games. There's usually a line, but there's no straight line. So it is possible. I mean, there's 4 Lords of Cinder. You have the what are they called? So you have the king who devoured, or the priest who devoured people. I can't remember the great devourer. I can't remember his name. You have the twin princes. You have
the guy Gorn the giant.
Gorn the giant.
Yeah.
And then you have the guys who were in the room.
Aldrich. I got Aldrich.
Aldrich is the devourer. Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, it sounds like you have all of them. Did you put all the hashes on the
I haven't put any of them on anywhere.
Okay, well then there you go. That's what the hell you're waiting
for. She's like, you mind? I know you like to touch the darkness within me, but can you just fucking put the souls in
Every time she said that shit, I was like, stop it, you little freak. Just give me my next level.
Just give me my next level. Just give me that. Yeah. Dude, I'm having such a good time with it. I still haven't go to the ice area that is like how many? How many DLCs do you say this one had?
Just
1, 2?
Just 2, yeah.
Where's the second one?
That one is trying to read. I think you access that later, almost towards the end. Yeah,
gotcha. Okay,
because it is like you need to be leveled for that bad boy. So
okay. Well, I'm 105 right now.
Oh, then actually, you're pretty. I mean, minimum levels I think for Ashes Ariandel, I think was like 60, and I think 80 for Ring the Ring City. So you're fine, but they are tough. Like even I was a little over level. Oh, I got this. Like no, I mean, you know, it's just you're not comfortably going through things. Like you go through new areas now, and you're kind of like, yeah, I got this, you know, whatever. And you do for the most part, right? You kind of get the strategy, but these two introduce like some new enemies and bosses that really push you to the limit. Like fucking hell with these bastards.
Wow.
So yeah, I can definitely. So, but you are technically level to do both of them at this point. And just you can do it afterward. You don't have to do it beforehand. But
okay, got it. Just keep at it. No, I'm having way too much fun with it. One of the reasons I was like, okay, I'm enjoying Tales of Arise, but I do want to go to this one.
Yeah, you don't want to break it. You don't break the break the loop if you hear.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Speaking of loop, no. I'm just gonna throw it back to you because I didn't watch anything. I didn't even watch the What If right now. So
neither did I. Isn't that some shit?
There you go. We don't have anything to talk about TV, at least myself. So I'll throw it back to you. You
know. So all right. So for me, real quick, I did finish Salt and Sanctuary. Legit finished some Salt and Sanctuary.
Not leave it at the end.
Easily 4 out of 5 on that one. I definitely enjoyed it. It is a really great. I want to say it's a great, just side-scrolling Souls-like type of game. It is challenging. It is annoying.
It wouldn't be a Dark Souls game.
It wouldn't be a Souls-like if it wasn't, but still
Souls-like,
rewarding.
yeah.
It's still definitely rewarding. I love the music. Like I didn't think I liked the, I think the music was really that standout the first time, but there's some later levels that have some very cool music, particularly the end. And I was just like, oh, I like this, I was a sort of a dex build with sword and dagger.
The most difficult build, according to
it is. I still think it is, because you're. I think if you're a heavier build, you can probably take down. As long as you keep yourself sort of light, but a heavier hitter. You know what I mean? I think you actually do better. But as a dex build, you're hitting good. But you can also dodge really easy. You don't have your poise. You don't have poise.
Yeah, you don't need it. You're
well,
dodging.
That means you have to be good at dodging. You know what I mean?
Well, hello, it's the
I agree.
It's the GG game.
I agree, but
dodging, better or worse.
Like dodging perfectly, in some of these games, it comes with skill. Yes, you eventually get it, but it comes with skill. And I look at some of my videos, like I posted some videos on YouTube of some of the games. And I'm just like, man,
how the hell
did I dodge that shit? You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, like perfectly. Like that would like if the first time versus the last time I took them on, that first time I would have been hit like easily. But the last time you're in a zone, you just know that the frame that you need to start the rolling.
Oh, I know mine. Mine is pure panic. It's like, oh yeah, nope. I did not meant to do that, and somehow it worked perfectly.
Yeah. Well, the same thing here. And because here is a little bit of a different, like you can roll through certain things and not always, and the characters are so much bigger than your character that you really need to figure out, is this a character I need to block with, or is this a character I need to roll with?
Right.
The final boss is a bitch. You have to. It's also set up really poor because you take fall damage and you have no choice. There's just no way around it. You start the fight with like 3/4 of your health because you have to take fall damage just to get there, and there's no way around it. I'm like, fuck you, game. That's what I have to say. But either way, once you figure out the guy, it's like, okay, but man, some of these guys like leap and move and they're big and and they push around. But anyway, points to say. Don't even talk about it anymore, but Salt Sanctuary, 4 out of 5, easily. Definitely a great game. Then I was kind of in between some games, and I knew that we were going to play some Tsushima on our game day.
Yes, we did. So I didn't speak about that because I wanted your impressions of it.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, I didn't want to start anything, right? And I was like, I'm not going to start anything because I feel like if I'm going to do that and I get into it, then I probably want to do that for a little bit. So, so I didn't start anything like major, but I did jump into a little game that I had bought called Gang Beasts, which
Gang Beasts. Very bad name.
Which is basically like a Royal Rumble of a bunch of little weird characters, and each of you are just trying to throw each other off of like whatever platform you're on, and there's usually different levels that you play. And obviously, after it's almost very similar to what's that game that came out that it has like almost like a game show feel to it.
Fall Guys?
Fall Guys, yes. It's almost very Fall Guys like, but not the game show thing. It's really just more a level loads up. And I think it's like best out of 10 or some shit like that. And level loads up, and you can be like on a blimp, or you can be on an elevator. And the whole time, once the timer drops to 0, everybody's just grabbing each other and trying to throw each other off. You know what I mean? It's just this random, just like, the controls are weird, and half the time I'm like, I know I'm grabbing them, but I don't know how to throw them, and I'm jumping to try to throw, and then they grab the edge, and it's all multiplayer, so everybody I'm playing against obviously is online. It was a cool little fun time to have. You know what I mean? The game I think cost me like $10, and it was on my list for forever. But I would love to have a little moment with the fellas playing some Gang Beasts. Up to you guys. I won't force anybody. It is I don't think it was ever in
I am
any of
so
the
curious. I'm actually pulling it up. Gang Beast.
Beast. Yeah, it is a game by dear Lord. What is their name here? Bone Loaf. Skybound Games is the publisher, and Bone Loaf is a developer and is made on the Unity engine. Available on Steam, PlayStation 4, Xbox One.
Oh, I seen this game.
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, very famous with streamers.
Oh yeah, it is.
For
It is.
better
I'm
or
sure.
worse. But it has like very ragdolly physics also, and
It does. It does. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. It's silliness.
it is silly.
It's
Yeah.
literally meant to be that $10-15 game that you just play for a few times and maybe throw it on just for a little bit and have some fun with it. But I think there's a lot of laughs to be. I was having laughs, but I couldn't laugh with anybody because it was just me and a bunch of randos, right? But I was like, man, this is hilarious to put together at some point. So I'll throw it out there. If you guys ever want to throw into that, I will definitely be willing to join. I own the fucking game.
This is a Double Fine joint.
Is it? Oh, okay. There you go. Well, probably Double Fine published
Or
joint.
published?
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I
Oh,
don't.
okay,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, 'cause I think it's another developer, but so yeah, so it was a little bit of that. Nothing big on that. And then of course we did jump into the Legends mode of Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. And I stuck with a character that I've always loved the look of the Ronin. And I'm still frustrated
Yeah.
that the Ronin is the fucking healer. And I'm like,
Hey,
this
what's wrong with
is
being a
some
healer?
bull. It's just not the character that I. First off, it's not the character I generally play in any of these type of games.
Oh,
And
I love playing
secondly,
healers.
it is definitely not the character I would assume a Ronin would be. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that is just not what they do. Hello, Ronin, masterless samurai, loner. He's not out there fucking saving folks. You know what I mean?
Also for the people.
Sure, okay. But anyway, a lot of fun, dude. I was like, this is a lot of fun. It's frustrating, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you get the Oni and all that shit, which is annoying, you know what I mean? Figuring them out, I think, is the part that I really had the most difficulty with, just kind of figuring out what they do, what can I block, what can I dodge. But overall, I did have a lot of fun. I actually am kind of looking forward. I still have it downloaded, and I'm looking forward to, to playing some more of it, because it was fun. I did, and obviously I was playing with Dreamy here and Chaos and Dark. Shout out to Chaos and Dark, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm honestly really glad I did do it, because I was resisting for the longest time. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really big into these multiplayer things. But this wasn't really multiplayer against foes. It was really just more basically horde mode, right? It was a survival mode.
Yeah, pretty much. It's the fact that Dark and Chaos are so much higher level than us doesn't take away from the way that we fight. We still the game does a very good job of balancing still and making you feel like your character is actually contributing. Like you can still, if you're good at Tsushima, you can probably hold one of those areas on your own, if you need to, and it was cool that we can call ourselves, hey, you go here, I'll take this area. And
well, that was the other thing. It was just like, I feel, yes, we were doing it a lot, but I feel that there were other times like, guys, I got this area. Don't worry about it. I will figure this out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We were because if like losing one area at any time during the 15 waves, it's like a huge loss of a bonus that nobody wants to
go through. I get you, but it's one of those things where it's like, I need to learn the hard way. You know what I mean? And the hard way is, and I love parrying. I love battling these folks, like battling them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I just, the parry in Ghost of Tsushima is really well implemented. Very similar to the well, maybe not very similar, but just the way you parry is very similar to Sekiro. And but I love the comeback on it, and when I'm surrounded by three people, I'm just like looking at the first movement. You know what I mean? So I can start the parry, and if somebody else moves, I love the fact that you can stop mid move and focus back on this on the second one that's coming in.
Yeah.
It's very dynamic in that sense, and I feel like that's what I loved about playing Ghost of Tsushima. It's just I love being surrounded by a bunch of folks. It felt like Bruce Lee in that when he's in that dojo surrounded by everyone and he's just no fear, like I got this, you know what I mean? And that was the best
Now,
part of Ghost of Tsushima to me.
now we understand why you get upset when we will try to help you out. You'll be like doing like the pose and ready to fight this character. I don't know where I'll go in and switch. There you go, bro. You're good. You're like,
it is
son of a bitch.
so frustrating because I'm just going.
I was setting a cinematic. I'm gonna fight you.
It was you and Chaos. And Chaos was like, I got you, man. And he's literally said, I got you. Because he's like, he was about to come in. I was like, I know. I had the camera on him the whole way. I was just waiting for him to move. You know what I mean? It's like nothing happened. And then I was like, you took my kill. That's fine. You know what I mean? It's fine. But that's and obviously that's something that as a powerhouse that he is, and even you are, because you're even higher level than I am. As a powerhouse that you guys are, you can come in and easily take them down. But I feel like once we get to the higher levels, I feel like we're going to need to, hold our own. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I'm hoping to get to that point where, hey, I'm holding my own here with 3 or 4 of these fuckers, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I will, circle the camera around. I'm glad there's no lock on. I heard that they was going to put in lock. I was like, no, I need the camera to be fluid.
No, fuck that. I need lock on. I hate the fact that it doesn't have it. And it was announced, and I was like, oh, finally they're gonna fix it. And they don't put it in Legends. I'm like, son of a bitch.
I don't
give me the option so that it doesn't mess me.
I love the dynamic and that was their original purpose of it. And
I know.
I'm gonna lie. At first I was like, fuck, I'm hitting the R3, the trigger. I'm going, what the hell? Why is it not logging on? You know what I mean? And it took a while to figure it out. But then when you realize as you go through the game, you're engaging way more than 2 or 3 folks. It's like you got to be able to move that camera around quickly, not cycle through who you're targeting. You know what I mean? Cycling through who you're targeting is going to take more time than it is to just spin it.
It depends, but no, I get that. I get the fluid. Like, I will never want it to be replaced because that's not Ghost of Tsushima. I have gotten so used to, however, to the other games that do allow it, that when I don't have it, I feel like my character looks like a fucking idiot when he's swinging the sword everywhere except the target. But then again, that might just be, well, I'm look like a stupid idiot because
that's where the parry
I'm used to. Yeah,
that's literally where the parry comes in. That's what I'm trying to say. Even though I had my back to the dude, I know how the game works. And the moment he comes to strike, I can hit the parry. Even though he's coming behind me, I will turn, like the character will turn around and parry him. So that's why it's like, I don't need to look at him to know that I'm going to be parrying him, even though my character is staring away from it. You know what I mean? Right. But I'm staring at, like, me as the gamer is staring at him, waiting for him to come in. Because once I go to parry, my character automatically turns to him and blocks it. And that happens even when you're in a group. So that's what I was trying to say is if you're surrounded by 5 folks, one person, enemy 1 comes in, I start to parry him, go to strike, and then I start seeing that somebody else is about to move in, stop the next strike, wait for that hit to come in, hit the parry, and now my character's already turned around facing that guy who just came in. And it's just, once you figure that out, dude, it's just like, it's the fucking most awesome samurai feeling. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why I said I loved the game, because it made me really, really feel like I was controlling an actual samurai of the Edo period, or whatever fuck period that was, and so that's why, and that's what I get it. Legends is multiplayer, I get it, but I still have that in my head where it's like, I got this guy. If you see me
playing
anywhere
like
near
you're
him,
Tsushima, and we're like, nope, we're just here to clear fools out.
Exactly. I'm just like,
we need you to be fast because this area needs assistance also. I get it. I was there too. These fuckers don't mess. It's either you try to kill fast, or you're gonna end up looking really badass, but only having 3 kills.
And you know what? I am okay with that
No,
because those 3 kills will be spectacular.
Yeah, I need to. They're quality over quantity. We get that, yes, and they probably are. But that's not what the Legends mode is about.
Evidently, is not. But I'm still
the reason
in.
they didn't put the locked on mechanic, because it was like, oh no, this shit is too slow for it. You're gonna need to like really.
No one here is
slash
trying to lock onto anything. Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah. But anyway, that's Ghost of Tsushima, and obviously there's another game I play, but I will discuss that later in the hot topic.
We play it again.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. That's I have been having fun.
Tuesday night.
This Tuesday night I will not be here because I am officially on vacation. I will be in New Smyrna Beach.
Oh, that's right around the corner. Just drop by whatever you just drop by here. We'll just put we'll play co-op. There you go.
Just local co-op.
Yeah, just local. You're in Smyrna Beach. You're like next to my house. So yeah.
Yes, yeah. Actually, it's not too far. Yeah. But for the moment, that's all I've been playing, and I did watch a couple things. One I wanted to mention was I did see Console Wars, which is the documentary.
Oh, fuck, I need to watch that. That's right.
Which is based on a book, which I think we both have read.
Yes, we did.
And by read, obviously, I mean audiobook for me, but
probably me too. I don't remember, but I'm sure that's the way.
So
where is that? Where is it? Amazon?
It's on Prime. It's an actual Prime movie. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And is it a well, I guess I'll let you talk about it. I'm thinking like, is it a documentary? Is it a movie? But I'll let you talk about it.
No, it's a documentary. It is an actual documentary. It has the actual character, the characters, the actual folks, not characters, real folks, guys. You have
people.
Yeah, Arokawa, who was the Japanese guy who came over from if you remember the story. It has oh gosh, what is his name? Because I'm looking for it here and I can't find it.
The Sega guy?
What's the Sega guy's name? The main Sega guy's name. The one who basically like turned it all around for Sega and then got screwed in the end.
What is his name?
I'm looking over here and I can't fucking find it anywhere here because it's just giving me. But anyway, so as you're looking for it, so this is a story of Sega early on, after the Master System. They were looking for. They ended up getting the guy who did Barbie. He's the one who turned Barbie into like this big thing, and they got him to come. They got him from Hawaii, and they got him to come lead Sega of America, and basically, shepherd in. Hey, we're trying to take on Nintendo, and then of course, Nintendo is maybe painted a little bit as an evil version here, but it's not really evil. It's like they were just getting their way, and they didn't have competition. That's really what it comes down to. So if you don't have competition, you can get your way.
It was meant to make, at least the way I interpret the book, it almost made Sega look like the underdog, which it was.
They were. Yeah, they were.
So that was the whole. That was the whole point.
Thanks to the guy, and I can't remember his name again, but thanks to the guy who they got, they literally beat up Nintendo for a good amount of that. They brought the reason of the name of the movie. They brought in the console war, and really
we still on this to this day.
Yeah. Really pushed Nintendo to the point where it's like, Sega does what Nintendo don't. And that was the thing that they started. The blast processing, which they knew was bullshit, but it didn't matter. It sounded good. People bought it. And they would show commercials and stuff like that. It goes, so which one do you want? Like, they'll interview people, which one do you want? And it's like, well, no, I like Nintendo, but Sega has blast processing and that's amazing. So I need to get that, and it's like, this is a fucking thing is about, it's like, it's so weird, but it's so great. You know what I mean? And that was the American know-how that Sega wanted. It's like Sega was like, and he was given free reign for the most part.
Tom
With
Kalinske.
Kalinsky, thank you.
Maldita sea.
I
That's
could,
the name.
yeah.
It was like, how
I'm
can I
looking down the
forget?
whole list. I'm like, why is his name not on here?
It was a CEO
yes.
at Mattel, and Tom
Yep.
Kalinske. Yeah.
Tom Kalinske. He was the one who basically shepherded Sega to become a real challenger to Nintendo, and so highly recommend this. There's just no reason you. It's funny. It's humorous. It's not the best documentary, for the record. I've seen plenty of good documentaries, but that doesn't matter. It's about Sega versus Nintendo.
Yeah,
and it's
it's our passion. It's the thing. The Sega with Nintendo was, that was the biblical wars, right?
Pretty much,
back in the day, and console warring to this day is, for better or worse, still a thing, and
we should definitely get past that by now. But yes, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't feel it. I mean, honestly, if it's not console war, it's always gonna be car wars. It's gonna be football wars.
Yeah,
like you guys have.
Sure. But
there's always gonna be rivalries for whatever it's your favorite, whatever.
Tom Kalinske, that was his name. Fuck
yes,
yeah. They have obviously they have interviews.
That was great.
Yeah, they have interviews with a bunch of folks. You have Don Coiner from Nintendo. You had, there's a lot of folks that you can see there. Some of them are footages from back in the day. Some of the footages from now. Yeah. So I there's just no reason not to watch. It's a lot of fun. My gosh, Sparrow Wolf actually shared a link. Because it's also on YouTube. Apparently, you could just watch it for free on YouTube. So just FYI.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So even better. I don't know the quality. I didn't watch it there. I watched it on Prime. But it is on Prime. So if you actually have Prime Video, you can watch it there too. So it doesn't matter. But the point is,
I might be waiting tomorrow.
It is. I enjoyed it. I like it. It's a very truncated version of the book. Obviously, the book is always longer. So it kind of flies through a lot of things faster. But it just hits those notes, and it makes me laugh every time. The humorous moments. It's just like, oh, that's right, they did do that. You know what I mean? And so I definitely recommend checking this bad boy out. So that's again, Console Wars. It's actually a 2020 film. And then the last thing I watched was a movie called Green Book, and this is a movie about so this takes place in. I'm trying to remember the time period. I want to say it's like
either Japan.
No. This takes place in the 60s, but early 60s. And it takes place. It's about an Italian American dude who's like a bouncer at a bar, played by Viggo Mortensen. You know Viggo Mortensen probably from Lord of the Rings. And he becomes the driver of a classic piano player who's African American and does a tour through the American South. Now, how does that sound to most folks? They're probably like, oh, well, what's the big deal here? Well, this is early 1960s. And the American South was not friendly to any African American or any black person of any history. And so the movie itself is actually pretty good. Viggo Mortensen is really rough and rugged, and he's just like true Italian dude. Eats a lot, you know what I mean? Eats a lot. He's trying to make money for his family. And it's Mahershala Ali is actually who plays the piano player, and he hires him because he knows he's going to be going to certain places where he's not welcome. He gives him. He can pay for his money, whatever. He's there to be not only his assistant and driver,
bodyguard,
but kind of exactly, could be his bodyguard. And of course, there's moments where it's like, oh man, shit's gonna go bad here. You know what I mean? And it's just that type of thing. This is a movie that's been on my list. It's one of those things where it's not as rough to watch as some of the other films. It does have its moments. But at the same time, it's like, it's also it's almost cleaned up a little bit, if you will. It's almost like
Hmm?
this should have been worse than it actually was, and maybe wasn't. A perfect example: he goes to a particular location in the South, which is beautiful. Like a restaurant that also has live music and stuff like that. And he's the piano player. He plays classical piano, by the way.
Uh,
And he is with two one who's I want to say he was a German guy, and I can't remember what the other guy was. Obviously they're able to eat at the establishment, they're able to whatever stay at the establishment, and even though he is the headliner, his room is a broom closet for him to change in. He's not allowed to eat in the same place. It's just this just
wow.
really like oh, by the way, this is based on a true story, hands down.
Oh, wow.
So it's just like, man, what the hell? Now, I know the question mark that everybody says, well, what's the deal? Why is it called the Green Book? Well,
I even forgot that it was called the Green Book.
well, I didn't, and I've heard of the Green Book before in Lovecraft Country, which is a series on HBO, which I highly recommend everybody watch as well. And the Green Book is an actual real book. The actual full name of the Green Book is the Negro Motorist Green Book. That's the actual name of the book.
Huh?
Yes. So what it is, think of it as, and this is how insane shit was just 50, 60 years ago. Okay. I mean, just really think about this.
When you compare it to how crazy shit is nowadays, it's kind of like, yeah, we haven't really changed that much, have we?
So I'll try to understand what this is. This is a book that actually has a listing of hotels, restaurants, places where an African American or Black traveler in these days, from the 40s to about the 60s, can stay and not worry about being attacked or in any way poorly treated. That's what the Green Book is.
Wow.
Believe it or not, I'm literally holding in my hand a copy of this Green Book. I found it online,
What?
and for whatever reason, I felt compelled to buy it. It was like maybe $8, nothing expensive like that. But
Really?
I was
Wow.
in shock. That I've always been in shock. When I first heard of it, I was like,
Did you find a place in Florida?
How can that even be a thing? I haven't even looked. Is there Florida? Let me see. Florida, South Dakota. Yes, there is in Florida. Yeah. And it has listings, hotels or some places. Sometimes it's just family, like a person. He's renting outside of his house. You know what I mean? He's renting out to anybody. He's friendly to African Americans and white folks. He doesn't give a shit. Or maybe he is African American. He goes, yeah, I'll rent this. You know what I mean? It's that type of thing.
Yeah.
And the person who did this was someone who, credit to the person who actually was publishing this book, because he had to find out. You find out the hard way. Where can you stay and where can't you stay? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And obviously, so I got it, and it's funny. I don't know why I got it. I really don't even know why I got this.
Rabbit hole.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But a part of me was like, it's so insane that this even existed. You know what I mean? And I guess that's why I wanted it. It's just a quick reminder of, yes, shit is.
What
shit.
do you have? Do you have? Is it like a reproduction, or was it? Did you just super locked out into like a copy, like an original copy?
No. This is a reproduction of the original. This, I think, was printed probably last year. 2020, yeah. But when you look in the inside,
does he have the most updated information?
No, because none of this applies anymore. But again, it just became this.
It makes
None of this applies anymore. Let me see. It's just, but that's the whole deal. I have seen, like, you can actually go online and look at original versions of it, and it's the same exact stuff. It's just printed into a new book. That's all it is.
Right.
And like I said,
I'm not gonna qualify that has none of it exists anymore. I'm not gonna say that.
Oh no, that's not what I mean. What I'm trying to say is some of these listings may not. You know what I mean?
Right. Yes,
this
absolutely.
particular Miss Johnson here in Oklahoma is probably gone. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, or not gone, but we're probably third generation at this point, and obviously, But anyway, I just felt like this is the second time Lovecraft Country brought it up, and this was another one that brought it up, and I just, it was almost like I need to have it to hold on to it to say we have gotten better. How are we great? Are we where we need to be? No, but we're not where we were here. You know what I mean? It's like we have really made, and so I think that's really the only reason I got it. Anyway, back to the film. The funny thing about it is that the Green Book, the name of the freaking movie, I think came up maybe 3 times, and it was like, well, why are you calling this the Green Book? I don't understand why it's even called that. But anyway, it's pretty funny. I think we had a lot of fun with it, watching it, and I think it's fun in the sense that it's obviously I don't have to tell you that there's a connection between Viggo Mortensen's character and Mahershala Ali's character, that because it's just, there's a connection that comes. At first, it's really just, hey, I'm working for you. That's just all I'm going to do. I don't care about your politics. I don't care about anything else. I'm just here to drive you where you need to go. And eventually, there's sort of a bond and friendship that develops there, and respect, even more importantly. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I really did enjoy it. I still say that it's probably a little more lighthearted than the real life story was.
Right.
The story that this was based on was actually written by Viggo Mortensen's character, his son. He's the one who wrote the story, and I want to say that both the real characters in real life both died very recently, 2013, I think.
Oh, wow.
So yeah. Anyway, definitely recommend. Probably give it a 3.5 out of 5. And for the record, I do the same thing for Console Wars. 3.5 out of 5. So I didn't give him that one. But
that's a good score.
Yeah. And it is, I mean, I know you like, based on true stories. Yep. This is based on true story. Easily something recommend. Not a hard watch, which I get. I know those type of films are hard to watch because you just leave angry, and that's not this. So it's it's still rough, like I said, with the whole scenario with the.
Well, I mean, it's still. I mean, the subject matter is not something to make light on. Correct. I just, I don't tend to watch movies that I wouldn't call it. Celebrate is the wrong word because it's not like they're celebrating, but it's a bad time. I don't want to remind, like I don't need to. I appreciate the fact that it exists, or those type of things exist, but I might not be in the mood for it. So
yeah, I got you. Which is why I kept it in the back burner for a little bit.
Yeah. I think it would. Sorry, I was just gonna say real quick. At the same time, I think it would be a disservice to just make light of it at the same time.
Yeah, which is what I think. I think it cleans it up a little bit too well. Like if this is based on the story that's being written by the son of the father who went through it, I can almost suspect maybe there was a little bit of
editing,
maybe not editing, but definitely some stuff that were left out. The book is the story is not written by the two people who went through it. So because of that, it's being told secondhand, and you're like, well, how much of this is filled in? How much of it is, hey, we don't know what happened, so let's kind of, pushing the gap here. So, and how much of it is made a little bit more lighthearted because everyone involved, from the writer to the director to everything else, is actually white. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, how much of this is actually, giving you the story of it? But all that said, still enjoyable movie for sure. So, and anyway, that is all that I'm doing.
is everybody playing Destiny 2 again?
I don't know, bro. It's a fucking pandemic or an epidemic. I just don't get it. And don't get me wrong. To each their own. I don't like yucking anybody's yum. I enjoyed the bit of Destiny, but dude, that train has fucking left the station like ages ago.
Why? Apparently, it is as strong as it's been.
Do you know
from the looks of it?
I'm going to tell you the craziest thing the craziest thing, and this probably is the reason for this. There's a show that was on the Cooking Channel, or maybe I don't know, one of these fucking things. Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives. Have you ever heard of this show?
No.
Okay, so it was this guy who would go through different towns of the U.S. and he would be highlighting some of their best diners, drive-ins, or dives. And so it would be because of the community. The community would vote it up and say, yo, if you're going to come here, you got to come try this, whatever. It's a great little restaurant. It's been there for 40 years or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. And the guy would come in. I think it was on Cooking Network or something like that, or Food Channel. And he would come in and he would talk to the chef, and they'll make their specialties, and you can kind of see how they're making it, so you can try to make it at home. Essentially, was the point. And so the interviews that we have some of the patrons, and they would be like, oh yeah, we've been coming here for 20 years, 25 years. Yes, every day, every Monday we come here for this. It's like, that is the most boring shit in the world. Why would you always have the same fucking ham sandwich on a Monday? I would dread that Monday. I was just like, damn it, I'm gonna have the same fucking half tuna melt, from
it's probably some tuna melt, bro. You don't.
I'm sure it is, but after a few years, it's like, I need something else. I can't fucking have the same shit again. I'm going to shoot myself.
Well, look at who you're talking to. So,
I mean, I don't know.
Let's be real. Yeah.
You're probably right. Obviously, I'm the minority in this situation. Yeah, okay,
and we will not be silenced. You diversity fires. Yeah, there you go. I made it a thing.
My wife and I, we say this. We watch that show because we're like, I want to go try that place out. So we would actually plan, like we would, so we'd make a trip to Savannah, and we would look at the city between here and Savannah and in Savannah, and we look up, has he ever been there? What restaurants are there? And it's like, I want to try these all. And then along the way, you have Jacksonville. So I was like, where is in Jacksonville? He's had to stop in Jacksonville at some point. So we would find a restaurant in Jacksonville, and it's like, we would try all these places. It's just like, eating here in Orlando is like a thing, bro. We're constantly looking at, we need something new. We love Indian food. We love Indian food, but let me tell you, we have switched like over 7 or 8 different places. Like I've had tikka masala here. What does this tikka masala taste? I got to be doing a different chef, right?
What if you discover a really good one, but then you gamble into like a not so great one?
Because the discovery of a gem is what constantly makes me search for the next gem. This is why I am the worst person for microtransactions. I mean, that sounds
like you're just grinding food.
No, I am. I was always. So anyway, the point is to get back to Destiny. Is like the same thing. That's what it feels like. Because like these guys are coming to the same restaurant every fucking day and grinding out some fucking new weapons. And talking to that guy, I can't remember his name now, but the fucking seller of whatever, and going to the big globe above whatever, and it's just like, why are you still here? You guys, you need to move on. Bungie,
there
should be a 3. Anyway,
listen, so right, so confession time. Okay. I did play some Destiny 2 last week, and I didn't mention it. Probably because I forgot, but
I wonder why.
It was not different in the sense that it's still fucking Destiny, but when it started me, like I was like wearing different vestments. Like I'm like, this is not even my weapon. Like you upgraded, you saw me behind, and you were like, well, actually, this season is now here, so here you go. You gotta wear this now. This is the new stuff. This is your new light level. Like I'm like, I did not earn this. I haven't played you.
But you were so behind. They're like,
level.
You're not going to work unless we move you
like
up for
a
you.
level like a. Was 1,100 or something like that? Like I don't know, like whatever is it's supposed to be the scrub level now. Mind you, that might have
when the
sounded
scrub
like
level is 1,100,
but the light level is the light level. Sorry, the light level. The light level now is like because there's still the cap, and then who cares? Anyway, I'm looking at myself. It's like, okay, so this is kind of like they gave me a free DLC. This is cool, I guess. If for me encounter it like once in the middle of the year, maybe, but to constantly be playing the same thing over and over, like I don't know, man. I can't. Even my favorite games, at some point I start feeling like I'm hitting that part where I need something else.
Dude, this is what I'm trying to say. This is what I'm trying to say. It's just like it's exactly the way you feel about that. It's how I feel about when I get a dish and I'm like, this is amazing. Imagine what else I can find. You know what I mean? It's like, no.
I won't do that with food, though. I won't do that with food. I feel like food serves a very particular. Food is not meant to keep me entertained. Food is meant to give me.
If it's not meant to give you entertained, who cares where you get it from? That's what I'm trying to say.
It's a momentary pleasure, and I'm not gonna gamble that momentary pleasure. That momentary pleasure will be like it is. It's you're satisfying hunger, just like if you were satisfying sex, and you were going like, well, I could be married, but I could just be single and just explore all the ditches of the world, And,
wow.
I mean, it's true though.
I mean, sure. That's a route, and I'm not going to, I'm not going to discount that as, a lifestyle. Sure.
It is.
But think about it. Think about all the. No, just kidding.
No.
I'm not going to defend that. I'm not going to.
I'm just saying. Like at one point, for certain things, for certain pleasures, I like to like settle and just have it. Which is funny because gaming will be almost that also, kind of like a different type of pleasure. But I see that one more like an entertainment kind of pleasure, which I don't mind like checking out because it doesn't. First of all, it's not gonna land me in a divorce situation, but also it's not gonna land me into having a very disappointing dish suddenly. Then I'm like, oh man.
To be fair, I get it, but the beauty of trying everything. Well, anyway, it doesn't matter. We're talking about Destiny, and the reality is that shit is stale. I'm sorry, Destiny players. I love you all. I really do. But it's time. It's time. That shit is stale. They don't use they don't use preservatives in gaming, so that shit is rock hard now. Ramiro, it is time, bro. It is time.
But what else is he gonna play though? What is this out there that he's gonna play that is that level? He likes grindy games.
He will
not gonna jump to the Division.
There's the Division. There is Godfall. There's countless ones now. It's to pick any of them.
I will give it to Destiny. That is probably the better one of those. Even though I personally prefer
I'm sure it is.
The Division, but even the Division, I don't play it constantly because I can't. I'm not that type of player. I need to play other things. But
you see, you like that. You are absolutely the gamer version of. Although I am also the same way in gaming, but the gamer version of the foodie that I am. You are the gaming.
Yes. I am the gaming.
You are the gaming. And we are the gamies. And I feel like we need to find a new name for that. But still, you get what I'm trying to say with what I'm trying to say. But anyway, With that,
You're
guys,
back, nice.
we are back with our
Trailer.
trailer of
Of the
the week. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that was really impromptu there, but um, our trailer. Well, first off, I had two trailers, so
Where's the trailers?
I don't think we decided on to which one it
We
was.
did
But
not, and I was surprised because it sounded like you had your mind set already on the trailer of of the week. So I was like, I'm gonna let it happen this time.
I honestly, for me, it's so overall, I think there are some good choices here. First of all, we have two choices: the West Side Story remake, which is being done by Steven Spielberg,
Steven Spielberg,
and then Guillermo
of all the
del Toro.
names.
I know of all the names, and then Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley, and I am leaning towards Nightmare Alley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
leaning
Yeah,
towards
that was my leaning too.
Okay, good. Okay, so good.
Okay,
We'll go with that
trailer
then.
of the
So
week.
Nightmare
There you go.
Alley is our trailer of the week.
Now, why though?
So
We should probably talk a
so
little bit about
yeah,
it.
we should probably talk about it. So first off, it is a Guillermo del Toro joint. If you've seen any of his films, you know that he is a visual master when it comes to visual effects. He does like practical effects, which I absolutely love.
Yes,
So
he does.
a lot of his shit just looks and feels real. This looks to take place in it's a period piece and looks almost like there's a carnival. It is a teaser trailer, so there's not a lot going on. We know Bradley Cooper is in it. We know there's a few people in it. There's a person that looks to be either monster or human. They're not entirely sure, but obviously that's the either antagonist. But in many cases with Guillermo del Toro is probably the protagonist. You know what I mean? Because he does so many films where it is the creature or the the thing that is hunted or people fear that actually is the main character. And so I love Guillermo del Toro. This has a bunch of actors. I want Richard Jenkins. I'm sorry, I'm going to mention his name here because he deserves fucking respect.
We have had already close to 2 minutes without you mentioning William Dafoe. And
William Dafoe is another. Yes, he's
Thank
a godsend. Yes,
he needs to be recognized. And yes, I am very glad that he's part of it. Yes.
Yes, he is in there as well. Kate Blanchett, William
Kate
Dafoe.
Blanchett is there,
We got, I mentioned Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. I'm surprised with the amount of, because the first thing that not worried, not in the sense that they're bad when they have the warning sign. I mean the logo showing Searchlight, Searchlight Entertainment or whatever.
That's not a warning sign, sir. That's usually a sign of good shit.
It's not. I know. But it could really. There's no certainty on either way. It could be one of those movies that you really like, which are the ones where the credits roll right in the middle of the movie, and then suddenly you're like, what happened?
Whatever. Searchlight is Fox's essentially indie branch, essentially.
For indie, it didn't look like it had a lot of independent actors. Like there was a lot of names here. That was like, whoa.
But a lot of big name actors do like independent films because they tend to be more of the craft as opposed to being more of the pop culture.
Right.
And so that's why every major movie company has their own branch of, hey, find us those little ones that are, small budget, probably has some names. It's all about the delivery and acting and all this stuff. And so I'm not saying that's the case here. Guillermo del Toro generally has a budget. You know what I mean? His budgets tend to not be little. You know what I mean? So so that's usually the case there. But then again, he also likes to put in some of his own money and get some outside help. So that kind of helps. His big thing that most people know is probably Hellboy, the Hellboy series, Pacific Rim. But the one that really put him onto the map was Pan's Labyrinth, which is actually a
I still haven't seen that
Spanish film. which is excellent, dude. Excellent. One of my favorites that I actually own, and you can probably watch through my Movies Anywhere thing, is The Shape of Water, which is a great movie as well. And
yeah, I started watching.
Oh, you did see it? Okay.
No, I did not. Yeah.
You started and said, "Yeah, fuck this shit, I'm out."
To be honest, I feel like I could have given it a better.
You saw first Fox Searchlight, and you're like, nope.
That's when I changed the channel. No.
Anyway, yes. So forget about Shape of Water. It's a great film. But anyway, he does do visually spectacular films, and so that alone, this is a teaser trailer for the record, so not a lot to go on, and I'm fine with it. I will watch it. Guillermo del Toro has quickly become a director where it's like, I don't know what you're doing. I don't care. Let me know what's out, and I'll watch it. You know what I mean? And I'll make the judgment at that point. Yeah. And that's why it took the place over West Side Story.
Yeah. Well, Steven Spielberg, West Side Story.
Yes. That alone makes me say, no, fuck you, bro.
Steven Spielberg has a budget.
he has he does have it. My issue with West Side Story is simple, and I'll say it real quick. I won't speak too long. My issue is I want it to be good. I do, because the story I feel is of its time, of the time now, and of its time and all that. The original West Side Story had one actor or actress of a Latin descent, and that was Rita Moreno. Outside of that, by the way, there's an entire gang of what should be Puerto Ricans, and not a one of them are. They're not even of Latin descent. So, so that alone is just like,
Is this doing anything to address that?
Yes, it is. And you can see it. You can see it in who the actors are. It's a little on the nose with some of the accents, and I'm just like, okay. But then again, you know what? Then again, that's also a true thing of the time. Exactly. This is supposed to take place in the 60s, and so I get that. I get that that's, it may rub some, Latinos the wrong way. So what are they trying to say? That we all sound like this, Well, in the 60s, we all probably did. So let's just,
we all sounded funny in the 60s.
Yeah, exactly. So
also, it's a freaking musical.
On top of that, it's a fucking musical. Let's be real. There's nothing realistic here, and there are no jets or sharks, so whatever. But I want to be into it. It's just all signs point to me being really disappointed, and so that's the reason.
I didn't notice anything particular that had those warning signs. I just thought, I want to know what this shit by Guillermo del Toro is actually.
Steven Spielberg is the biggest warning fucking sign.
Oh wow! Wow! Okay.
I don't dislike Steven Spielberg films.
No, forget it. You're on record already. He recorded. You hate his guts, and
no.
You.
It's just one of those things where I would want someone who, and maybe this is just me. Maybe I've gotten jaded or whatever the case may be, but I would want someone who understands a little bit of what needs to be. And I don't feel like I feel like this has his name, and it's really just more about his name. And I feel like his name alone is going to give this movie a bigger bump than it deserves.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's in this fucking title.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not called West Side Story.
It's Steven Spielberg's West Side Story.
West Side Story. Yes,
exactly.
A movie by Steven Spielberg.
So our trailer of the week, guys. You didn't say why you liked it, but I assume you agree. Richard Jenkins. I hear you. He's a
Richard Jenkins, absolutely. Kate Blanchett. The mystery. The mystery it itself, because he presents it. I mean, you guys should watch the trailer. It's not that it's gonna be mind blowing or anything. Like you said, it's a teaser trailer. It doesn't show too much. It's almost like a circus person, presenting the one in a lifetime opportunity.
William Dafoe, that was him.
The man, and you don't get to actually see it. So you're like, he's claiming that the has got to show you, is it a man, is it a beast? But It doesn't show you either. It doesn't show, like, the trailer itself just shows elements of things that are happening to people that seem kind of, dark, but still without showing you the slasher person, let's say, for example, quote unquote, or that thingy-majig, or nothing on that. So it leaves you in suspense. It leaves you wanting more. I don't know if more means the full trailer, though. I think at this point it's like, oh, I just want to see the film. What is it about?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely my selection for trailer of the week also. So we agree. There you go.
Yeah, 100%. Trailer of the week again. Nightmare Alley, Guillermo del Toro, coming in. I didn't see the date, but anyway, coming soon. Moving on to our Mouthfuls Games Radar. It should come as no surprise that obviously one on the Games Radar that apparently is like it's like the second coming of fucking Last of Us, the first one, that is of course Deathloop by Arcane Studios, available on PC and PlayStation 5. Came out on the 14th, which was Tuesday. And then the other one, which I threw here because I've had it on my to watch list, and right now sits at an 85 on Metacritic. So I think it's a GG. And that is a little game that's available on PC and Switch called Eastward. This is a game by the studio called Chucklefish, which is responsible for a game that I did play, which is Inmost, and of course Stardew Valley. And this is an RPG, very pixel art, and it just looks amazing, and I just kind of want to get into it, and it's on Switch, and maybe I can fucking use that shit eventually. So Eastward, it was cool. They showed it off at one of the Nintendo Indies presentation, and I think it won a lot of people's game of the show, and for me personally it did. And so it's available now. It came out on the 16th, so that's actually what, Thursday? Or not Thursday, Thursday. Right? Yeah, Thursday. So those are the games that are on the Mouthfuls radar, and so let's go ahead and move on to the useless news that we all can use.
Yes.
And I'm going to go ahead and start with THQ's 10th anniversary presentation. And they had a live stream, and they showed off some game announcements. The show itself was about 30 minutes long, and it ranged from a bunch of remasters to some surprise sequels. So we'll start off at the top with Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobe, a remake of the original Destroy All Humans 2. Yeah, a reprobe. Yeah. So I never played any of the Destroy Humans, but it's cool that they're redoing these. I don't know what the temperature is for these.
I don't know if there's an appetite for this. I mean,
I would say it is, because they just did the first one. Yes, and if there was no appetite, they wouldn't even bother with the second one. I would.
No, right. I think the first one did very well, and the type of games, they're humorous. In the sense you're kind of playing the villain, which is always fun, and yeah, I played it myself, although I have seen it played live and played and seen some levels, and the person that was playing this game was having a hell of a great time, with it. Yeah. So they look fun. Cool.
The next game of the show was Outcast 2: A New Beginning, which is the 1999 cult open world action adventure game called Outcast. Was from developer Appeal. Outcast was one of the first true open world games in the modern era, and its sense of scale and exploration was ahead of anything else in its time. Of course, we are now in 2021, so I'm assuming it's not that big. Outcast 2 will once again...
I didn't think it was that old, though.
The who?
I didn't think it was that old.
1999.
Outcast?
Yep.
Really? Like, what the hell have I been playing? Oh, not playing, but... that I've seen that is like a mystery, like a horror mystery, or is that a different game?
That's a different game. That's Outlast.
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 Okay, that's what it is.
Outcast, sorry.
Okay, thank you. All right. And mystery solved.
Mystery
I'm a
has been
moron.
solved. To help retain the feeling of the developers of the Outcast 2 include 10 members of the original development team. Outcast 2 will be developed exclusively for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and PC.
So everything.
So basically everywhere, except for Switch.
Oh, don't worry, Switch guys. I have good news for you later on down the news.
Not to mention, I'm pretty sure you can hack the Switch and get the 1999 version to run.
Oh, there you go.
Anyway, yeah, Jagged Alliance 3 is a first true sequel to Jagged Alliance, tactical RPG series, also from 1999. Last one, 1999's Jagged Alliance 2.
Wow.
Build a team of mercenaries and use the environment to tactically fight your way through the enemy camp and ultimately save the world from annihilation. Moving on. Expeditions Rome is a tactical turn-based RPG set in the ancient Roman Republic in the time of Julius Caesar. This is a true role-playing game. Players will have to make choices throughout the game, which will affect how the story unfolds. The developers say that even small decisions will have major impacts. They always say that. MX versus ATV Legends, the race motocross bikes or ATV in the next game in Rainbow's off-road series. This game, the next game will let players compete in extreme racing tournaments, challenges, as well as non-racing side activities. Superpowers 3. This is definitely a new one. Elex 2. 2017's Elex was an ambitious sci-fi RPG that was released at the height of Europe's RPG gold rush. And while this story was clever and often engrossing, it was plagued with bugs and poor balance. But the sequel is looking to build upon the first game and hopefully fix some of its core mechanical issues. Again, that's Elex 2. No timeline as to when it's coming out. And then finally, SpongeBob SquarePants, The Cosmic Shake. Brand new game for everyone's favorite undersea sponge. No gameplay footage was revealed, but the trailer for Cosmic Shake was likely the greatest hits of some of SpongeBob's best moments from the show, set to his famous Sweet Victory performance from the Bubble Bowl.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that THQ was had hands in the SpongeBob IP. Like, I didn't know that was they had the license.
I don't know if they had the license. I'm pretty sure that they acquired the license, at least temporarily, and because I'm pretty sure that the old THQ, because this new THQ is basically the old THQ. Let's be real. It's like
that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
you really look everything they're doing is like, so basically THQ lives again.
Yes,
is what's happening here. So
long live THQ.
Long live THQ. Yeah,
and their B tier games.
Yeah.
I am excited about this B tier game, son. This is in my heart, but I realize not a lot of people are excited about it. It's a new Wipeout, bro. Oh, God, new really? Wipeout. Yes. Check this out. So, Wipeout Rush is a new game is a new game in PlayStation's legendary racing game. Coming to iPhone and Android in 2022.
Oh, this is a PlayStation one. Yep, I remember.
Yes, this is an official Wipeout game, at least in name anyway. The debut trailer clearly showed PlayStation's trademark at the end. It will feature unique card-based racing game. I mean, I have to see this trailer. And a single-player campaign. Wipeout Rush is developed by Rogue Games, whoever the hell they are, a studio set by former IGN journalist and co-founder Matt Casamassina. Oh, that's what he's doing now.
Okay.
IGN has the direct exclusive on the game revealed today, of course. Oh, well, never mind. So the original Wipeout series was a work of the much missed Studio Liverpool, which Sony shut down in 2012. The first Wipeout launched in 1995 for the original PlayStation, and it's a cool, fast-paced gameplay and pumping dance music soundtrack helped define the PlayStation brand. That game is fucking awesome, by the way. Apparently, they were working on a game in 2012, but that's around the time that Sony dismantled that studios. Anyway, this thing took a turn because I was excited about seeing a Wipeout game, but it's gonna be a mobile game then, and a card game at that.
Sorry to hear.
I mean, it's gonna be a racing game, but I don't know what
a racing card game though. I
don't know what the card portion of it means. There are some.
Yeah, cards are playing a big role in a lot of games. Like right now, the Midnight Suns, which is the new Marvel game from Firaxis, has a card game element to it. That's actually how you play or whatever. And I'm just like, I was excited because it's Firaxis and it's going to be turn based. And then I saw the cards like, I don't know about this.
I don't know if I want this. Yeah, I mean, I realize they're fun, but I'm not that.
You're wrong. They are fun, but they're no Gwent. I mean,
they're not Gwent. Nothing is, evidently.
True that. Truer words have never been spoken, sir. My next piece, Sony Santa Monica.
Oh,
you know that studio. Cory Barlog, the director of God of War 2018.
Are they still open?
There, apparently, yeah. Still hanging on. Pandemic and all. Has opened up on why there will only be 2 games in the series of the Norse mythology saga.
Oh no! Wow.
Stating that he wanted to avoid delaying the story's conclusion to a decade after it started. In an interview, with Captain Kuba on YouTube, Barlog spoke out as to why he decided that the story of Kratos and Atreus would be told in just 2 games. Quote, I think one of the most important reasons is that the first game took 5 years. And the second game, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I'm going to throw out that it's going to take close to a similar time. Then if you think of a third one in the same time frame, we're talking a span of 15 years of a single story, and I feel that it's just too stretched out. I feel that we're asking too much to say the actual completion of the story is taking too long. And it just feels too long. Given where the team was at the end and where Eric was at with what he wanted to do, I was like, look, I think we can actually do this in the second story because most of what we're trying to do from the beginning was to tell something about Kratos and Atreus, that the core of the story engine is really the relationship between these 2 characters. It goes on to say some other stuff here, and whoever wrote this is something wrong with their editing. But overall, I actually am on board with this. I feel like
don't get too comfortable. Sony, I'm sure, will have a saying on that decision.
I mean, sure, but
it's gotta prepare for God of War Ascension.
I don't think that God of War is gone, but I think that this version of God of War is done, and I feel like
then it's gone. Then what other version of God of War?
Well, this Norse mythology version is what I'm trying to talk about. If he fucking enters, I don't know, Egyptian mythology, okay, fine. But the point is, that this version of it is, I think it should be done. I mean, yes. Think about the time
sure, though. I'm not sure I want God of War to become like the next fucking Assassin's Creed, where now this is gonna be based on this mythology.
I don't want that either. No, I don't want that either. But as I'm saying, I also don't want. It's how do I say it? It's like the thing with Christopher Nolan when he was doing Batman, right? Mm-hmm. He did Batman Begins. He did it because he saw the script. He was able to do it. He enjoyed it. He made it. Whatever. He did The Dark Knight because it was like his writer came in, he got the script, and suddenly it was just one of those things like it was writing itself. Right? This
Right.
is what they said. It was at some point the story was literally writing itself. So we were so engrossed with it.
Mm.
And that led to The Dark Knight, right? The Dark Knight Rises, on the other hand, not a bad movie,
Mm.
but definitely not doesn't meet the heights of Dark Knight.
Right.
Why? Because I feel there was some studio pressure here to say, "Hey, let's finish this. You know how you want to finish it. Come on back. We'll give you whatever you want. We'll pay you whatever you want, whatever." And then they made a script, and it. I don't know if you. I assume you've seen Dark Knight Rises, but
Right.
it's clearly that movie was. It needed more. It needed more time. There was more there. There
Yeah.
wasn't. So it wasn't completely.
It wasn't. I mean, it's a great movie, but it wasn't like almost the level masterpiece level that was
The Dark Knight.
The
Yeah.
Dark Knight.
And so, personally, could I live with the Batman Begins and Dark Knight as the only two films? Hell fucking yeah. Did I enjoy having the third one? Yeah, I did. But you can
Mhm.
tell that everyone's heart was just not into it at that point.
Right.
And that's what I feel may happen here if they suddenly say, "Hey, stretch it out to another one." And I feel like Sony is smart enough to know that their first party studio. That's not to say they won't do it eventually or get another studio to do it. You know what I'm saying? That's not they're going to do it, but it's like you don't want to pressure your talent. You want to get them. You want to get the best out of them. And I feel like Sony is very good at getting the best out of their studio. And if they feel that they're done with a particular thing, then hey, give it to somebody else, like they were gonna do with fucking Uncharted and Last of Us.
Mhm.
Even though apparently it got back to Naughty Dog, but the reality is, you give it to someone who wants to do it. And if Santa Monica Studios is done, then it's like, and even better, the story is closed. Like we play this next one, and the story is closed. There's no breadcrumbs that leads to another one. I'm good. We're good. Move on to something else. Santa Monica Studios, do something else. We'll come back to
Yeah.
Kratos down the road, maybe. You know what I mean?
That's the
And I
part where I
prefer
have
that.
the problem. That's the particular part. Like to what exactly? To because I understand like he did the thing with Greek mythology, and the jump to Norse mythology was like okay, that was it's interesting. Don't get me wrong, but did he really need to? But it's cool that he did. But I don't want it to become his thing. Like I don't want God of War Egypt next. You know, because now it
I
looks
hear
like
you.
well.
I hear you 100%.
Yeah, but
But at the same time, you also see that the beauty of how they develop this God of War is Kratos isn't the same Kratos.
right,
He's aged. He's
he
still
probably should die in
strong. He's
this
still
one.
God of War. Yeah, but it's clear that okay, he's reached his end. So maybe the
Right.
next story, if there is one, maybe it's Atreus. Maybe it's his where he stands now. Maybe the world of Norse mythology has fallen, and he's like, I'm the only one standing. Where do I belong? So he's a god amongst no gods, no heavens. You know, what I mean? Some weird shit like
Mhm.
that. Is
Mhm.
that interesting? Maybe. Do I need it? No. but
Mhm.
it still leads to okay. If you do it, take your time down the road. It doesn't need to be the
or
next.
really commit to ending it. If this is gonna be, if you're painting it as well, this is gonna be, where we
like a
close God of
duology.
War.
Yeah.
Then fucking do it. I just don't. I mean, God of War is way too big of an IP just to like put it out for pasture. Unless your next
I feel like it
thing
can
is
rest.
to fucking reboot it, which would be ridiculous because this is kind of like what this was in a way, sort of maybe. But yeah, who knows? I mean, they don't want. I do agree with what you said of. Well, if they don't want to do another one, they shouldn't be forced to do another one.
I agree. And I feel like Sony, I don't know for sure. I have no fucking clue, to be honest with you, but I just feel like Sony is open enough to let the studios pitch what they want to do and go with what they feel. You know what I'm saying? It's like open enough to say, okay, maybe not all studios in first party, but the major studios. I feel like Santa Monica has earned the cred to say we want to work on something else. Like Naughty Dog says, we want to work on something. They're like, okay, do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Fucking now that they own Insomniac says we'll do, Spider-Man, we'll do Wolverine, but the next one we really want to work on something else. Okay,
Right. Yeah.
do what you want to do. You know what I mean? I feel like Sony would be more than okay to do that, considering what has been delivered by these teams.
Right.
Is that true? Who knows? Maybe I'm fucking not imagining shit, but maybe I'm just wishful thinking here. But I'm okay with the next one being the last one. I'm all right with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it just feels like closing on God of War a little soon, but at the same time, I get I get what he's trying to bring of the 5-year gap, but come on, man. At the same time, like
to be frank,
the assets and the most of the motion in the assets, it's already there. I'm not saying that you just take the same thing and redo it and repaste it, but you have some foundation already. It's not. It shouldn't. I wouldn't. I'm not a developer, so it probably takes double the time because
there was actually some blowback from the last one, from the last Sony thing. I don't know if you've heard this, but there was some blowback because they were going, "Oh, they're using the same animation that he got into the boat with, the same animation that they used in the last one.
Right?
Why is it? And it's like." Yeah, well,
what did you expect? Like, how many?
Why would you change it?
Get into a fucking boat?
Why would you alter why would you redo all of it just to alter it just a little bit?
Yeah,
right?
that's ridiculous.
You can instead use what you have and then expand somewhere else. It's just like it doesn't make sense. So I get it. But and to be fair, he mentions 15 years, a 15-year span, but as a gamer. Don't get me wrong. As a developer, I see it. As a gamer, it's only 10. You released it here. 5 years later, you release the next one. 5 years later, that's still a span of 10 years.
And 5 years later, it's the launch title of your next PlayStation. So
at that point, yeah. I don't 100% buy into that. But as I'm also not the developer, and I'm pretty sure as a developer, as an artist. Wants to new. It's like the fucking food thing again. You want to try something new. It's like you want to try something. Like you and I are gamies. We want to try a new game. When new games I know it's so horrible. We'll figure out something, but it's the same thing. It's like a foodie, a gamey. The point is, you want to try something new. And as an artist, I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, by the time they're done with this. It's 10 years with Kratos, and it's like, can we work on something? 10 years. 10 years. We've been working on our job for 10 years or 11 years now. It's just like the same thing all the time. Now, at some point, if you had the opportunity to stay with the company and do something different, would you not? Of course you would. I would. So I get it. You know what I mean? But as long as the story makes sense, I don't want half-assery here. Right. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Right. If you're going to close it, just fucking close it. Just
close it right, yeah.
Kill Kratos, old age, whatever you want to do. Just make sure that there's no, because like it has happened so many times. Also, they say, "Oh no, this is the last one." Kojima says hi, by the way. Yeah. Oh no, this is the last one on the series until we get paid enough to make the other one, and then suddenly it's like, "Oh well, we got inspired," and okay, bullshit.
Inspired by the buckets of money that we're
exactly. There you go. Battlefield 2042. You heard that game?
I have.
You're very excited about it. Can't wait.
Not really.
Battlefield 2042, unfortunately, sad news for you, Mad Dog, specifically, has been delayed until November. So just 1 month. Just one more month. You can wait. The multiplayer only game will still arrive this year. Battlefield 1942 won't make its intended release date. Developer DICE announced Wednesday that the game will be delayed until November 19, nearly a month after its original planned release date of October 22nd. In a statement released on Twitter, DICE General Manager Oscar Gabrielson explained that the delay was largely due to the challenges of working from home during the pandemic. He quotes, "Building the next generation of Battlefield during a global pandemic has created unforeseen challenges for our development teams. I feel like at this point, this might as well be copy and paste from every other.
It is. Yeah. If you really look at the grammar, you're like, oh, they just fucking copied.
Yeah. Given the scale and scope of our game, we have hoped our team would be back on our studios together as we move forward to launch. With the ongoing conditions not allowing that to happen safely, and with all the hard work the teams are doing from home, we feel it's important to take the extra time to deliver on the vision of Battlefield 2042 for our players, end quote. While the news of the delay may be disappointing to all involved, Gabrielson also said that DICE will have more information on the game's open beta sometime later this month. So, yeah, I mean, it's taking fucking time at this point. It is what it is. We know it's difficult to coordinate working from home. I have complete teams like working from home, and productivity suffers at the same time. And unfortunately, it is the normal right now. So I'd rather not have the typical Battlefield release, which is the buggy mess. Although I expect, it's still an EA title, so I kind of sadly expect that.
Expect some bad shit.
We've seen worse. Cyberpunk 2077 says hi.
Very true. Very true, sir. My last few pieces here are actually a bunch of quick hits, so I'm just gonna shout
rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Alan Wake Remastered is ditching its original product placement. Yes. With brand deals for the 2010 cult classic Alan Wake long since expired. The title's upcoming remaster will not feature its predecessor's iconic product placement when it launches on October 5th. Damn, this shit's right around the corner.
So no Duracell batteries in, huh?
No Duracell, none of the whatever else that they showed off. Because
Monsters, probably Monsters drink. No, probably not.
No,
well, the batteries were blatant because the batteries were huge. Of course, it was for the flashlight he was carrying, but still, it's like I don't know.
Clearly, they could just be gray little cylinders, but no, they had to make it look like Duracell.
It was the Duracell, and it was like a big pack. I'm not a fan of being advertised. I'm not a fan of product placement. This one, however, didn't bother me because it's fucking batteries, of course. The fact that they're Duracell batteries kind of like cemented more the fact that this is sort of a real world
exactly. There's a certain realism to seeing brands that you're familiar with. So it's not. It is product placement, but at the same time, it's not. Aquacell, and you're like, that's not a fucking brand. That doesn't even exist. What the fuck is that? Yeah, so
it's not like, the military using HP monitors or HP equipment for some reason. It's like, okay, come on, guys, really, really.
Yeah, I hear you. My next quick hit, Techland, the developer behind Dying Light 2, has announced an update to the development process for the game, which has now been delayed till February 4th. Of 2022.
Wow.
So we have another delay, and of course, I'm not going to read the statement because it's always the same bullshit statement. It's like, well,
I already read it for you somewhere. Yeah.
Exactly. That said, fucking the beginning of 2022 is ridiculous. Someone has to shift somewhere.
Oh, they're moved.
There's
they're
way
moving
too
around.
much going on there. Yeah.
Once they realize they're all bunched up, they just start moving around.
Yeah. It's a game of chicken at this point. It's like, I'm not moving, you move. I'm not moving, you move. And then they're like, shit. All right, fine, we'll move. Yeah.
All right.
And then finally, my last little tidbit. Nicolas Cage says that he will never retire from acting. Nicolas Cage has I don't want him to. He loves
being in movies.
I agree. I love him in movies, even though sometimes he's just like crazy as all get out. But still, Nicolas Cage has assured fans of his filmography that he never plans to retire from acting. He told this to Entertainment Weekly earlier. This can't happen, Cage said of his retirement. To do what I do in cinema has been like a guardian angel for me, and I need it. I'm healthier when I'm working. I need a positive place to express my life experiences, and filmmaking has given me that. So I am never going to retire. Where are we now? 117 movies? Yes.
And
I hope
exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And that's not even part of his quote, but I guarantee he said it. Yeah, I don't want him to leave either. I mean, I'm not 100% fan of his filmography, but I love
he
the Nicolas Cage show.
he also played a guardian angel in one of his movies. I think
There
it
you
was
go.
called
A guardian angel?
No. What the fuck was that called?
I don't know. Where he played a guardian angel?
Yes.
I'll have to look this shit up.
Anyway,
Cage.
there's probably a couple and I'm not remembering. While you look for that, if you can find that one, if I'm not misremembering. I got good
Cities
news.
of Angels.
City of Angels, thank you.
Nailed it.
You see, nailed it. I know it was not Face Off.
No. He was an avenging angel there.
Fucking hell, I'm a
Nailed it.
shit movie. Yeah, this one, I like this one actually. This particular one. Nintendo finally adds Bluetooth audio to the Switch. New software update is out now. Nintendo has surprise announced that Bluetooth audio support has come to the Switch through a software update. The ability to use Bluetooth headphones to listen to game audio has been conspicuously missing since the console launched in 2017. So it's great to finally have it.
Yeah.
Though there are some limitations. According to Nintendo's support article, you will be limited to using 2 wireless controllers if you got a Bluetooth headset attached. The system also won't support Bluetooth microphone, which isn't necessarily surprising given that Nintendo's own voice chat system relies on an app running on your phone. Oh, that's right. Remember that? Still, it is a bummer for people who play games with their own built-in voice chat abilities. Like, I fucking wonder, like, who the hell? No one is using voice chat. Like, all Nintendo games are completely silent, which is cool for people that prefer it that way. I know more often than not playing multiplayer games, I prefer it that way. I don't want to talk to randos. Like, who cares? I want to talk to my friends, but not to randos. People have gone through great lengths to get wireless audio on their Switch. And The Verge at one point they said it will be a great selling point for the Switch Pro. But that didn't happen. Well, I guess until now. There has been accessories that acted as Bluetooth audio adapters, and some headsets like the SteelSeries Arctic One. I own actually. That's a set of headset. I'm wearing them right now.
Head of set?
Yes, head of headsets. Head of headsets. Came with a dongle that you took advantage of the Switch support for USB wireless headphones. So anyway, yes, having Bluetooth on the fucking Switch is fine. That's a big deal because
Agreed.
I don't like whenever I have to play the Switch with headphones on having the cable, because then it's like, okay, so I'm untethered from the phone, but I still have a cable bothering me when I'm playing my handheld. This, like, why was this not in from the very beginning? You know, why does it not support Bluetooth? It has Bluetooth capability. The freaking controllers are Bluetooth. So, and now we know the reason is the bandwidth probably of the Bluetooth, whatever version is it that it has, was not enough to have, 4 Joy-Cons, for example, and sound. But if you're using just 2, which that's fine, that's the way I'm going to be using my Switch, then that's perfect. Because now I can use like whatever Bluetooth headsets I have, or earbuds preferably. So yeah.
Earbuds for sure. Yeah. Oh, interesting stuff. Yeah. Well, I don't have any more, sir. Do you have anything else?
Well, there was a some ruminations there that you know, like God of War, Helldivers 2, and a bunch of other
The
Sony games
GeForce, League,
were leaked.
yes.
Yeah, on
Or
a
possible, right? We don't.
well, possible. Yeah, but they have kind of said, the Nvidia has come to say that those are just speculatory, and I kind of believe them. It sometimes you kind of prepare for for that, or you like I don't know, like I feel like this none of these announcements sound like they're not plausible. Like I do definitely can see a God of War PC happening. I don't know if Hell Drivers 2 has been announced, but I can see that happening also. Final
There's
Fantasy
been
remake.
rumors for all that stuff,
Yeah, there
and
has
it's
been
like you
rumors
can take
exactly.
all those rumors, throw it somewhere, and go, "Oh shit,"
That it
and
doesn't
it's like
necessarily mean that it's gonna happen.
exactly.
Yeah. So that's why. Oh, you guys know now. That was a leak, but don't trust it yet.
Not yet, anyway. Yeah.
No.
All right, guys. Well, stay tuned. We're gonna be right back with our hot topic. We are back, guys, and it is time for our hot topic.
Hot topic.
Hot topic. Hot topic of the week, guys, is again overrated or misunderstood. Obviously, this is about the game Deathloop, and let's stop beating around the bush at this point. Let's really get into Deathloop. First and foremost, Deathloop sits at almost a 90% on Metacritic. It has received its share of tens. It has received many praises and game of the years already.
Yep.
And so before we even get into the game, sir, let's frame this right. With all the previews, and there have been countless previews, probably a little too much, one may say, but with all the previews, what was your opinion of what you saw and your expectation of what this game would be?
I already played my favorite version of it, which was I played Returnal. Of the two, the art styles and what it was being presented when I started seeing the trailers and all that, I'm like, okay, no, this looks interesting and sci-fi and cool. This other one looks like just like a typical first-person shooter that is also a roguelike, maybe, because by that time I wasn't 100% sure, but I knew that it was done by Arcane. And Arcane, a great studio, and they do very good games. There's usually a problem with their games. In my case, is I don't enjoy their art style. Like I don't like their art style at all. And for some reason, their engines or their FOBs or whatever it is that they're using, they make me sick.
Oh, okay.
Like
Interesting.
they actually make play. Like I remember playing a little bit of the first Dishonored and having to take breaks because it was kind of messing me up. And evidently, this is still an issue with this game from some reports that I've read. But
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, that's basically that. I mean, not anything. Again, recognize Arcane as a very powerful, very good studio. They create some unique gaming experiences, which that's always what you want from the from game. Something that is like new and exciting, but. Deathloop didn't look like it was any of that. Deathloop looked like, well, I'm not saying they're copying us. Obviously, they're almost coming up, almost around the same time, or at least the same year. But it even by itself, it was kind of looking a little derivative with ugly ass art style, which we're just gonna make hyper violent because we're not gonna make this, quote unquote human NPCs look human. So we're gonna make them less human so that we can actually like mega destroy them in many ways, in many hyper violent way, because that's how we dehumanize, these characters. But
Yeah.
that was my impressions
My
at first.
impressions early on, I wasn't sure. There was one trailer that I think I left after this one of the showcases. I don't remember which one, but it was a showcase and last year, 2020, and the trailer left me like, okay, I'm in. And it was the one trailer that looked and felt. It actually had the song. Deja Vu was the name of the song.
Oh,
And it left me
yes.
like I am in because it felt like like a 60s James Bond. I was like, yes, I see the art style you're going for, and I'm in. I'm fucking in,
Mm.
And then we saw some stuff afterwards that had some explanation as to what's going on, and I don't know if the explanation was poor or I just wasn't understanding, but it
Mhm.
then drew the question mark that was like, I don't know what you're going for here, and um all the way up until its release, I was just like, I still don't know what the fuck this game is. I have no clue what the hell this game is. I just
But
know
you were in though.
there is a no. After the trailer,
Uh,
that they showed off, I was in it, and then when they started showing showcases about the game
oh,
further, it started muddying the waters a little bit, and I was like, oh, I think
ooh, I
I'll
don't
wait.
know.
I think I'll wait. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're talking about here, and the explanation didn't seem, it muddied the water. It was just like, no, maybe not. Or it was really a wait and see. That was really,
Mm.
I think we can both agree that we were more in a wait and see
Yeah,
pattern.
literally. I mean, I believe my words were you know I'm not really interested in this game unless reviews start coming out describing this game as stellar, and I use that term, I use
Yeah.
that word. It will have to be stellar for me to to have for me to be interested in, and lo and
Lo and
behold,
behold,
that's exactly
IGN
what it
gives it a
got.
10 out of 10. GameSpot, a 10 out of
Masterpiece.
10. VG247, a 5 out of 5. It just kept flying. And it was just like, I agree. I was expecting an 8, 8.5. That was I was like,
Mhm.
if it's going to be good, it's going to be an 8, 8.5. Otherwise,
Which is
it's going to
great
be a
at that
six
point.
five or 7. It's going to be
Yes.
one of those two. And after some of the trailers, I was like, this is probably going to be a 7. I don't know.
Yeah.
Bethesda, and then the other thing, Bethesda, and we all know that fucking Microsoft owns Bethesda at this point. They're probably going to half-ass it. It was like a lot of conspiracy stuff. But no, yes, I agree. It started flying out. So all right, so let me get into my impressions. I have about 5 to 6 hours into the game so far.
Mhm.
And here is my immediate description of this game. This is a roguelite, Souls-like,
Mhm.
Bioshock-like, first-person action stealth game. It's
Okay.
literally everything I just mentioned. It pulls and carries everything from it. I even ran this by Adam, coworker of ours, and he just got it. He just got it yesterday, and I gave him that description. I was like, please explain to me if I am off on my description, and he goes, nope, it fits the bill. On every point that I just
Mhm.
mentioned is roguelike, Souls-like, Bioshock-like. And the roguelite is obvious. Death loop. You're in an actual time loop. And so you get to the end of the day, it loops back to the beginning of the day. If you get killed along the way to the end of the day, it loops back to the beginning of the day. It doesn't matter what it happens, you're in the time loop. And that's very similar to a roguelike, right? You die, you lose everything, you go back to the beginning and you start over again. Souls like is that there are some opportunities for you to get invaded, which is very similar to a Souls game. And other thing is there are opportunities to go back to where you were killed and obtain some of the stuff you lost. This is only within the same loop, but still very similar. And then Bioshock, like I would say, would be the art style. It has a very 60s look. If you remember, Bioshock took place in 1959 or actually 1960, 61, if I remember. So it has a lot of the Art Deco, some really outlandish, even European 60s really ambiance look, which
Very
to
groovy.
me is very groovy, yeah, which is to me is very fucking cool. The music, the way the level designs have that really, sometimes it's neon, sometimes it's this Art Deco. It just, everything looks and feels lived in and looks and feels very 60s.
Oh my god, what was that movie? Oh my god, they had the they had one of the subtitles was the spy who shagged me or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Austin Powers.
Austin Powers, yes.
Yeah.
That
Very,
European,
very Austin Powers. Yes,
very Austin Powers
very Austin
looking.
Powers.
Yeah.
So that is like the elevator pitch as to what the game is. And to be fair, normally that's 2 out of 3 where I'm like, I'm in. Lately, roguelites I've warmed up to them, because before I'd be like, no, fuck that, I don't want that. And lately I have warmed up to them. So now it really is 3 out of 3. You think of Hades, you think, as you mentioned, Returnal. I'm like, well, if I love those games, then clearly I'm okay with roguelites. You know what I mean? So now it's really more of a 3 out of 3. And realistically, it's much more forgiving than a normal roguelite, because it has other elements. So what are the good stuff? Actually,
so it's a rogue light.
Yeah. It's much more forgiving.
A baby rogue.
In one run, you have, like, you call, as a habit of calling in rogues, you call them a run and run to try to make to the end, whatever. But in one loop, in this case, you can, once you have this particular slab, a slab is almost like an ability that you have that you can carry with you, and one of is what is called is like reprise. And what that basically means is it's like 3 lives, right? So if you get killed the first time, you will rewind a little bit, so you get kind of out of the area, but you're not dead, and you can actually go. This is where the thing comes, where you can go back to where you died, and if you have any things there, you can reclaim them, and you can do that up to 3 times. On the 3rd time, you're done. You're back to the beginning of you wake up back at the beach at the beginning of the day.
So maybe not so forgiving. I mean, forgiving in the sense that they're giving you the lives, but because you're gonna need them.
Yes, it's possible. You're so far. I haven't died from being attacked. So it's, I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm great at games or anything like that. I'm just saying, so far I do play stealthy, which I love playing stealthy. You don't not have to play stealthy in this game.
I don't like the stealthy.
yeah. But I do like the stealthy. So because of that, I am eliminating a lot of folks. Of course, it takes me longer. So the 5.5 hours is a lot more stealth gameplay waiting for an opening. But at the same time, I'm like,
you're still on your first loop.
No, I want to say I'm like 4th or 5th loop at this point. So anyway, to kind of, I do want to focus on some bad stuff that I've run into. And I feel like a lot of folks have mentioned some of these, and some of these people have not. The game crashed on me 5 to 10 minutes in.
Ooh.
Like hard crash, just out. I was like, okay, Then I loaded back in. I was like, okay, didn't have to repeat too much because it does have some autosaves. Unlike, for instance, Returnal, you know what I mean. You know, it does have some autosaves throughout. Then it gave me twice. It happened where it had a hard freeze frame. I was frozen in a frame, just staring, not moving for at least 4 to 5 seconds. I was like, what the hell is happening? Is this part of the game? It happened quick, then it
I heard
stopped.
reports of that.
Okay, then it moved on. So, okay, we're good. And then it, probably another 10 minutes in, and it freeze frame again. I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with this game? You know what I mean? To be fair, all of that happened in my first hour. Since then, nothing. So I haven't run into anything at all. It just, for whatever reason, happened pretty early on. I don't know if because it was scripted or I don't know. But that did happen. And it did really have me concerned. I'm not going to lie. I was just like, son of a bitch, they fucking got me on this shit, So that's more on the technical side. Just wanted to mention it because it hasn't happened since. As far as everything else, I think the obvious one is, the enemies are absolutely atrocious, ugly. They're just very low texture or very low. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with them. I don't know if it's
stylized.
It's what?
It's stylized.
Again, I don't know if it's stylized to be a certain way for a reason. I know there's a story reason for. Like, very few people are mentioning it, and it's just like, so is there something that explains it later? Like, so there's an explanation as to why some of them wear masks. So, and the masks really make their face look like, okay, this doesn't even look good, So there's an explanation behind that, but I'm like, is there an explanation later on for everything else? Because they really don't look, you know what I mean? And oh, by the way, they disappear, and what's his name is shocked. Your main character, Colt, is shocked when they first disappear. You kill them and they just disappear in the spot. So I was like, oh, okay, so that's not normal. I was like, okay, so that's I don't know what it is. Obviously haven't got to that point. But overall, the enemies just look ugly when you get close to them. Now, to be fair, you're never really close to them for very long because everybody attacks you, right? So it's like you're never really going to get that close to them unless you're sneaking up on them, and that's when you kind of see them briefly for a hot second. Go, what the hell was that? It just doesn't look good, So I don't know. We'll see if there's any explanation to it, but if there isn't, it's just plain ugly.
You can't even tell. You can't even take a moment to actually ascertain what you just saw because as soon as
they're gone.
Them,
yeah, you kill them, you stab them in the back, and you read with them, they drop, and you look, and they're gone. I'm like, what the fuck? Was that even real? I have no idea. And then the last thing that I really did not like, and this is a thing that games do nowadays, and they need to fucking stop, and that is the menu navigation does not need to roll like you're in a freaking computer and you're working with a mouse.
Yeah, the Destiny thing.
The Destiny thing started it, and it has been an epidemic ever since, and it needs to stop. It would be much more easier and much more flashy for me to just roll around using the control stick or the D-pad just to whatever.
Yeah, the bumper to change tabs.
Correct. Yeah. So
the directional pad. Yeah,
that's more. You can almost call that a nitpick, but at the same time, I don't like it. It's an annoying. Yeah. So
especially the cursor is slow for reasons.
Yes, it's very slow. Outside of that, those are my nitpicks. From there, it is all ups, sir. The story is absolutely fascinating. As much as we know from everything they've said from the game, we know nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like the mystery behind as to what's going on. There's obviously a loop, and we know that he's trying to break the loop. We know that Juliana is there to stop him from breaking the loop. We know, you know that you need to eliminate the targets. These things are all been said in the trailer, whatever. But why has not really been said, and the why is the most fascinating part so far. Um, I hands down. The voice acting is really good. I love Colt so far. Juliana is pleasantly annoying. The characters are pretty funny. So the voice acting is pretty good. The story, I guess the only real issue with the story is that it's not told. It's told in text logs, audio logs, notes that you read. That's kind of where you're getting a lot of the background.
Do you have
Um,
time to read them, or are you reading them in fear that something might appear or you might get invaded? And
yeah, you are. It does not stop if you're. The game does not stop. So if somebody walks into the room while you're reading a note, you're gonna need to put the note away so you can take them out. That said, the game is very good at if it's an important thing, it puts it into your menu and you can always look at it later. And it will flag it so when you go into menu because this is unread or most recently collected. So you can just run into the room, grab everything, move out, and you can still go look at it later on. Um, the day is broken up into morning, noon, afternoon, night. And so as you go out to explore, if you're in a specific area, let's say you're in the morning, you can stay there for hours. It doesn't change the date until you leave the area and you move to another area. Now you moved into the next section, which will be noon. And so areas differ depending on the time of day that you go there. And so what you're really looking for is patterns. So this is the progression that's done in this game. The progression is all about information because you're just getting information on your targets. And at the same time, you're collecting certain things that you can use to make yourself a better killer, essentially. Obviously, as with anything in these type of games, when you die, you go back, you lose everything. Well, there are ways of infusing certain things so that when you die, you do bring them back with you. So once you have that, you have some
always?
slabs. Yeah, as long as you infuse them, yes, you always bring them back. And so, which is great, right? You have some abilities. So as you kill some of your targets, the main targets, they'll drop these little slabs, and you can use them to either slabs or trinkets. Slabs are like main powerful abilities, which I'm sure you've seen in the trailer. One of them is to go invisible. Another one's to sort of teleport from here to over there. Those are the main slabs, and you can make that once you infuse that, it's stuck with you all the time. If you like it, if you know, you move on to another slab. Trinkets are more like little abilities, so you can take a trinket, you put into a gun, and that gun now has more attack power or something like that. Very similar to any other roguelike where you have these little things you can just kind of add onto your thing as you're going throughout the day.
Gems.
Yeah, little gems or something like that. You have weapons that you can carry back from the beginning. Weapons to me so far have never really been an issue. Because you kill people, you just pick up their weapon as you go along. Most of the time I'm stealthing anyway, so I'm just using a fucking machete, so no big deal on that. The weapons are really cool, really feels good on the PlayStation 5 controller. I will definitely say that. Gadgets are also pretty cool. It is very Dishonored. And I know how you felt about Dishonored. I liked Dishonored 1, loved Dishonored 2. This is like, it feels to me like a perfect like growth from Dishonored 2 to something new, something special. And it is, I gotta say, bro, I'm dying to go back to play it. I was wanting to play it all day. I played it last night. Dude, I watched the football game. The game was ending at midnight. Still put it on and still play till 2:30 in the morning because I was like, I just want. Now, is it a 10? I don't think it's a 10. At least not yet. Again, I'm only 5 hours in. I don't even know how long the thing is. But
it's a loop, so it never ends.
I know it can go on forever. But that's the crazy part is, from what I'm understanding, is if you're into grinding and getting all the whatever, you can do that. If you're into just following the story, you can do that because you have like a mission structure like any other say RPG where you can select, or this is the mission I'm trying to do now. You do that mission, you complete it, and then you have your next mission, and you complete that, and you can do that within different loops. You don't have to do it all the time. But the main point of the thing is what you're trying to break the loop. You have to kill the 8 targets all within one loop. So
Oh,
that
within one
means,
loop.
yeah.
That's
So that means
hardcore.
you have to understand the information you're trying to gather is you're trying to understand where these people are going to be at. What can I do to alter where they're at so that they go to a certain place at a certain time so that I can eliminate everybody within that one day that I have, which is morning, noon, afternoon, night. So in the morning, if
Is
I
that
need to,
possible to get them all at the same time?
yes,
I mean, that's a possibility.
yes.
So why is this game not just figuring that out then?
Well, that's what you're doing. That's the progress you're constantly doing. There's a story that's constantly going, and all you have to do is follow the story. Like I said, if you just want to beeline the story, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. It'll just beeline the story, and everything will point you to the direction you need to go, and you'll get. My understanding is that you'll get to the end, and it will be about at that point. You're like, okay, you know exactly where everybody needs to be at. It'll already be highlighted on your screen that you just go here morning, go here afternoon, go here noon, go here afternoon, go here night. Just make sure you limited the targets in each one, and you're out. But
Okay.
because it's a story, you need the information. So little by little, you're putting
Yeah.
together the information. Who is this person? Where are they going to be? Who are they related to? Why? You can set it up so that they can be at the same place at the same time. Why? Because this person and this person have a relationship nobody else is talking about. That weird little thing, little bits of information. So information is your progress because there's no experience. There's none of that. What you're trying to do is progress the story, and some people get caught into the I just want to upgrade this slab, for instance, this particular
That's
power.
that was
Which
gonna be my question because I mean, being a big fan of progression,
Mhm.
I found myself not really enjoying too much the rogue games in general, whether
Yeah.
light, heavy, light. This one, I won't lie. This one, it does look interesting, and of course, after you hear people praising it so much, you gotta know okay,
Something's up. Yeah.
what is it that So obviously something makes it not only special, but it's probably also something that is
Unique.
and also accessible.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Mhm.
I don't want to I'm not I'm not a glutton for punishment. Even games like Dark Souls have their points when I'm like, okay, this
may be where I'm stopping.
this may be this may be this is annoying. I'm not having fun in this particular area because I'm not exploring anymore. I'm just hitting my wall against my head against a boss, and granted, once you figure out the little subtleties, that's when you're like it clicks. But the process of figuring out the subtleties of the boss, it could get annoying where you spend too much time on it. Anyway,
Yep.
thing is to say, how are you upgrading anything here? Does anything feel like progression, or is it you getting information now? You know a little bit better, but when you go back, you're empty-handed again. Well, kind of, no, maybe not empty-handed because you did explain that you could carry stuff, but
Correct. But you're
is that
limited in what
stuff
you
now
can
level
carry.
1?
Yeah, you're limited in what you can carry. There's 8 targets, and I want to say that all 8 or maybe 7 or 8 of them have slabs, and each of those slabs, again, they're just ability. I don't know why they call them slabs, but it basically like a power. And when you kill them, you can gain that power. And
You
if
gain
you
that
infuse
power.
that power, then the power sticks with you, even if you die and you have to restart the loop.
Is it linear? Do you have to kill the bosses on a certain
You
order?
Well, it's not linear. You can choose any direction you want to go. It's almost like branched out into a tree, and it says if this person's, you have to kill everybody at one point anyway, because these are your 8 targets. But if you kill them, right now, what I'm doing is right at this point, what I'm doing is I'm killing them individually to get their power and see, is this the one I want to use going forward? One of them has the teleport. Another one has, like I said, the invisibility. You can have up to 2 at a time. So you can't use them all at a time. So you can't infuse them all. You know what I mean? So you can only have 2 at a time. You try which ones you like and go from there. But you have to kill these guys anyway. So let's say, for instance, you like the invisibility one, and if you get the invisibility slab, you infuse it. Now it's yours. You can use it at any point. But if you go back to take out that same person with their slab, now now that you've killed them again, it upgrades that power. And if you go back again, it upgrades the power again. And I don't know how many times you can do it, but you can keep upgrading until it gets to the max of whatever it is. And each time it gives you a new expression of that ability. For instance, the teleport can teleport you further, or teleport can teleport you through walls, or, you know, some weird shit like that. And it's like, it's constantly upgrading. But all you're really doing at that point is you still are following a story path. You literally go into the menu and it's like, I'm going to follow this path, like this mission path, so that you're getting an ability. It's almost like an arsenal ability. So you're trying to get that ability, but it's also opening up more information as to who this person is, where they're at a specific time of day, so that you don't really have to. So far, I haven't really had to figure out the mystery. It's not complicated, because it's a little bit handholdy in that sense, to say, you're getting the information, we're going to figure that out together, but you know, we'll get there together. And by the time you get to a certain point, the line is going to be already drawn for you. And that is cool, a little handholdy maybe, but at the same time, this game is really complex. There's so many systems in this game where I'm like, I kind of need a little hand holding right now, you know, because I'm not sure where you're going with some of this stuff. And
none of the gameplay seems to suggest that, which is what breaks my head. The only reason I'm believing is because it's you. You had the experience. You're playing. If I were reading this on a review, I'd be like, bullshit. None of the gameplay seems to suggest that there are systems within system working in the background. I mean,
there is. It's the day. The day is, the funny thing is that nothing changes in the day. You go into the I don't know, I can't think of the Bow Street or whatever, one area that you go to. If you go there every morning, every NPC is always located in the same spot, no matter what. It's, you know, you can go there, whatever. But that seems mundane, but at the same time, it's like it's on purpose, because it's always like the day is repeating itself. So obviously, if it's the morning and it's this, you're in the same area, you're always going to have that whatever. But if you come in the noon or in the afternoon or at night, everything has changed. And now, so people who were in one area are now in another. That's a system that's working. It's a system, but it's working in the background. Then you have your trinkets and how those work. And you have your common, you have your epics, you have your you know, there's like these trinkets that you go, man, and obviously you can infuse and bring. Basically, what it appears like is, so far, like I said, I'm not. I think the only complaint that I can have is that it's not really hard. You know what I mean? It's kind of a simple game. But it's that's probably the only complaint I really have of it. But yes, there are systems in the background, and then you have the invasion of Juliana, which is an annoyance. You know what I mean?
Annoyance,
but,
to say the least.
To say the least. And if you're online, you know, that could be an actual person jumping into your game to take you on. You know,
so
what I mean?
You're not online then?
No, I'm not online. I kept myself offline because I'm really just trying to figure shit out at this point. I have heard from Adam, because he's playing, and if he sees me, he's gonna fucking jump on. He's gonna try to invade my game, which I'm like, fuck it, yeah, bring it on, bro. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's still, after all this, inexplicable that I still don't understand why it has a 10, but I'm also still, I think, early, and I really am enjoying it. I mean, yes, the enemies are ugly and whatever, but they're also challenging. You know what I mean? You have too many of them around you, you can be taken out pretty quick. The bosses are not, or the targets are not super powered targets. They're like regular targets. You can literally jump in and eliminate them like you can eliminate anybody else. Now
Oh
getting to them
wow.
is a different story. You know what I mean? Trying to get them. But you can. They're regular folks. So it's like, oh, that's cool. You know, it's not really a boss.
Yeah.
It's just
It,
a target you need to take out because they're special
that's
in this
cool.
world.
Yeah.
Um, the real challenge is taking out all eight. That's the one thing you're trying to do. Everything is leading for you to take out the 8 targets within one day. And the
Mm.
problem is you don't know who these targets are. Obviously, Colt, your main character, has amnesia at the beginning because everybody fucking has amnesia. I guess that's the thing. But something happened to him. He's lost his memory, and he's figuring out what's happening. As you're figuring out what's happening as he's figuring it out. So he doesn't know these targets. So he has to understand who these targets are, where they are, what their interest is. You know, so it goes through the play. And yes, you're gonna take them out a bunch of times. That's part of it, but that's
Mhm.
okay because you're also getting their ability, and that ability helps you to get other abilities and helps you get around the map more and all that. um, the level design, dude, the
Mm.
level design here is really another thing that I can probably give to Souls in the sense that, you know, yes, you have your marker that's telling you to this is where you need to go, but there's so many little paths that you can find and just wander off into something, and you're like, what is over here? And the whole deal is, like it says, you can explore if you want, or you can go back, you know, keep following the marker. You know, that's what I'm saying. You can keep following the marker and never explore anything. It The story may take you to certain areas and all that stuff, but there's so many little nooks and crannies. This is like, I can't believe this is here. This is, you know, and I don't know, bro. It is special. I think I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I as far as Arcane goes, I like Dishonored. I did not like Prey.
Me
So
neither. That's another. That's
yeah,
another. Like so far, they have. I didn't play Dishonored 2,
that's their
but
best as far as I'm
and
concerned. That's
and
their best
and I
game.
and I wouldn't say Dishonored 1. Like I wouldn't not call Dishonored 1 a bad game in any way. I think the game is magnificent. It just didn't click with me.
Yeah,
But the game itself, I recognize it for being good. I did not like Prey.
I don't like it.
Prey was fucking awful. Like why why
Golful.
the worst enemy designs, and not saying this ones are particularly grandeur or anything, but
Okay.
at least I'm not finding fucking spider hidden spiders that can hide. And god, I just can't say I put 10 hours in that piece of shit before like my mind
I put like,
finally realized that okay, you shouldn't be playing this. This is
yeah,
bad. This is
yeah.
a bad game. This is a bad game.
I agree.
um
I don't know what everybody saw in that, and
yeah.
that's the deal. That's what I was
This is
thinking about
this is what
Deathloop. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about Deathloop. It's like
yes,
everybody was talking about Prey, like, oh man, praise this, praise that,
you
and
gotta
then I finally
experience
play
this.
it. I'm like, I didn't love.
Fuck.
I didn't do the 10 hours, but I probably did 3, maybe 4 hours. It wasn't a lot. That was enough. Like, I'm done. I'm done. Fuck this game.
Yeah.
I'm done.
And you know
Uh,
that Bray had the thing that actually got me to try it was the fact that he had that he showed that gameplay DLC that guess what? It was this same fucking thing. It was Deathloop basically. It was like probably the test
right,
of Deathloop. Uh
right. Yes, you're absolutely right.
so at that point it was like okay, that looked mad cool, and the different placements, and yeah, it looked neat. But that base game, like I didn't even get to that point because the base game itself did not do it
No,
for
it did
me.
not do anything. I agree. This one here, like I said, it's a shock, man. It's a shock. I will
Mm.
say one thing. I did because, and I normally don't do this.
Uh,
I normally don't watch video reviews and stuff like that for games that I'm interested in getting because I want to make it my own thing. But
right, right.
with this one, I just wasn't sure. I was shocked by all the ratings. Like, I need to know. I need to know what the fuck I'm missing here. There was some complaints that I have not noticed just yet. One of them, and I don't know if there was a patch in between, and it just maybe they got the pre-patch version, and that is enemy noticing you or noticing stuff happening around them. Yeah, they notice
Yeah.
shit. They notice shit.
Do they? Because what I saw video as recent as today. it was like this guy was jumping right next to the enemy, and I'm thinking, well, maybe Cole or whatever his name is has the like some special gear
Soft
that
shoes.
makes soft shoes that makes it like completely stealthy because anybody should have noticed this shit by now. But yet it didn't happen.
To be fair, yes. I mean, when I'm stealthing and I'm creeping up on somebody, I'm not jumping to see if they'll alert me. But I have shot someone from a point, and everybody else has the exclamation point that goes up. Whoa, what was that? Now, to be fair, it doesn't take long for them to go, oh, I guess it was nothing.
Okay.
So yeah, that's but they are reacting, which is something that I did see some videos where it's like, oh, this dude didn't react, and the guy got shot right next to him. There is a gun that's technically, it sounds loud in the game, but it literally says this is a silenced weapon. It's a nail gun. You know what I mean? And you're shooting a nail at the person, and it's like, okay, well, I guess I've heard a nail gun, and that shit is not quiet at all. But in this one, it says this is a silenced weapon. So I'm like, okay, so be it. So I don't know if that's some confusion, because when I've used that, no one turns around for nothing. You know what I mean? But when I use any other gun, which is generally a loud, rifle that I can shoot far, everyone I can see how many people in the area because of all the little the little bulbs that pop up, and I'm just like, oh shit, there's a lot of folks in this area. Anyway, the long and short of it is, I am amazed how much I am enjoying it. I really didn't know the type of game that I was getting into. I honestly only did this because I was curious. I had to understand where people come from.
We said it. It needed to be stellar for it to be, and evidently people were saying that it was. So
I still don't agree it's a stellar game. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10, but I maybe I'm still early, and maybe I am hooked. I can definitely say that when we're done here, bro, that's what I'm throwing on. So without a doubt,
neither is the Steam reviews or all 4,460 of them, which are rating it good. They're mostly positive now. Is the rating that is giving it?
So I'm
70% of the reviewers say, because those reviewers either positive, yes or no. It's not like it doesn't have scales, but this one 70% says that it's good, so mostly positive.
There you go. That's about the rating I was thinking. A 7, 7 to 8. I don't know. I don't have a rating for it yet, but I am definitely interested. I definitely can say that it is all about the mystery as to what's going on. Why is there a loop? That's the whole thing. What's the deal with the loop?
Joanna,
why is she hunting me down?
Like that shit.
How did I wrong her? Colt is early on. He's very like, oh, did we do something? And he's like, because he's like, I don't understand why you, whatever. And so obviously there's a connection. I don't know what the connection is, but all of that is what makes me keep wanting to play. It's the mystery. Now, here's the deal. The gameplay is also a lot of fun. You move fast. If I'm in a firefight, I'm jetting and I move fast. It's like, oh shit, this is not quite a freaking Doom, but fast enough like Doom, where you're like zipping. You're like, oh shit, when you run, you run. So you kind of get out, and of course, with the silliness of the AI, you're like, I just need to run to this other area, and they'll forget about me eventually. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's still fast paced, taking people out. The action.
I wouldn't be surprised if the end story of it is him and Joanna just walking out of a holodeck or VR room or whatever the fuck it is, and
it could be.
There could be some developers there. So what do you think? It's like, well, and the credits.
It's very derivative of Prey. No, I hear you. It could
be an arcade game, so
it could be. You never know. I mean, that would be. I would definitely doubt every review that comes out of any of these damn people
Anybody,
if that's
you
the
will
ending and
blacklist them.
yeah, oh absolutely. Fuck that. Easily. Because I'm just like, no, that's garbage. But I don't think that's what it is, but who knows? But yeah, man, that's where
Do
I'm at with it. I don't know if this is any way going to change your mind. Kind of wish now
no,
I had.
I mean, I am interested. One of my next questions was going to be: do we know if this is crossplay?
Oh, PC and I
Right,
don't
the
know.
only version.
Let me see.
I feel
I feel
I
like it would
feel
be, but let
no.
me see.
I maybe I feel like if it would have been touted a lot that that feature was there. Also, no talk about, well, how do you control the people, how do people on
There's no
PC
crossplay.
play then?
Yeah,
There's no
there's no
crossplay.
crossplay.
Okay,
And
that's
you're
my
right.
that's
Yeah,
my
you got a Juliana playing on PC versus a
and
Colt playing on PlayStation 5. Got a little bit of
yeah,
an advantage there.
right.
Um,
So I am I just, if I were, and honestly, nothing against my PlayStation 5, but if I wanted to get this game, I'll probably get it on PC, just because that's the that's the method that I would prefer to play what this game seems to be, which is a first person shooter roguelike, with some uh parkour, even from what I'm seeing in some areas. Like, it kind of remind me
it's
of
got a little bit of it. Yeah, a
a little
little bit
bit,
of it.
yeah, yeah, a little bit. Um, also, I had another question that I was okay. So I guess you answered this, but we're still early to know if Juliana's reasoning make any sense on the game, or maybe they make sense to you but not the character in the game, or you just completely lost there. Like, what the fuck did I do to this lady
I
that
have
she's taunting me?
some hints, but I
Okay,
obviously wouldn't want to mention them because they're a little.
no,
This definitely would enter some spoiler,
right, right,
because it's something that you haven't seen in the trailer. Obviously,
right,
from the
right,
trailer, you can tell there's something,
right.
and there's a little bit of cult history where it got discovered. You're like, oh, okay, so
Okay, yeah.
because again,
Okay,
remember
so it's
he
interesting. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say, remember he wakes up forgetting something happened. He wakes up forgetting who he is,
Right.
and now and Juliana remembers him, and he's whatever, and it's really fascinating. It's interesting. It really is
Mhm.
interesting, and I want to know more. Um,
That's a good story will keep me. And if the game it's not gonna try to be like ridiculous, then yeah, I don't see any reason why I will skip on it, honestly. And I mean, it's 47. I'm looking at it right now. 47.99 on Green Man Gaming
oh shit!
with a
Okay,
20% discount. Like, I could pull the trigger any moment. But that it sucks that, yeah, unfortunately, even if maybe they forced me to use the gamepad, it sucks that if I want to play, if I want to invade you, or even if that was an option, because it doesn't look like it's gonna be, since you're probably gonna be playing offline for most of your playthrough, apparently.
well,
Um,
it's one of those things because I don't know. Well, there's obviously as with anything, even when you think about Dark Souls,
mhm.
if you kill the invader, you enjoy the spoils. Well, it's the same thing. The invader, you get
Mm,
to enjoy the spoils of it. I love how you begin the game at the very menu, and you
uh,
have two options. It's not two. It's just break the loop, and you play the cult, or
uh,
protect the loop, and you play as Juliana.
yeah,
Basically, if you protect the loop, you're just invading everybody's game. Is what you're doing.
yeah.
Uh,
That's all you do, which
that's all you're
seems a
doing. Yeah.
little short. Unless that's the type of stuff that you enjoy. And let's face it, there's people that
I could
do
definitely say that's something
that.
you would probably want to do later on because to be Juliana, you kind of want to know the layout of the world. And the layouts are, like I said, the level design here is pretty top notch. Maybe not the
Mm,
best level design, but it is really
works
cool the
very
way
well.
they've designed the areas. But once you know those areas, then you can, because Juliana has the ability to make herself look like an NPC. So that's what
Oh,
you would
that's
want to
oh,
use
damn it.
for you to,
This
yeah.
seems like such an arcane, like such an arcane ass game.
It
It's
for sure is,
ridiculous. Like,
bro. It for sure is.
come
Hands
on,
fucking down.
guys.
This is,
I'll
like I
give it
said,
to
this is
them.
the
They know how to
natural
mix it.
evolution
Yeah,
of
all their
Dishonored 2.
games.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's almost all the games. Now you have Juliana is the mimic. Hey,
Yeah, exactly,
nice.
exactly. Yep. But
uh,
she has a gun. You
and,
know.
well, she has a gun.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
yeah.
looks pretty badass. Yeah, I like her character design and so like I when I say that I'm not a big fan of the character designs in general and the world building, like I still don't know, but this one looks like it's a little bit more palatable, except when it comes to the enemies. The enemies look fucking horrible.
The enemies are all wearing masks. And
Yeah.
that's the thing that left me, because I didn't know when we were watching all the previews. They're all wearing
Maybe
masks.
it's mandatory. They have
I,
that
I
island.
mean, I won't say why or whatever, but it's just okay. Now I get why they look funny. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, but it doesn't matter when you get close to them. Like when Juliana gets close to you, you see detail, really good detail. She looks like a really well designed character. But when you get close enough to the enemies, you're just like, okay, so that's a mask, but what the hell's wrong with the rest of you? You look like almost like a plastic doll, because of the way.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know why you look like this. Again, there may be a story reason that I don't know, that I haven't stumbled upon, and that could be why. But why does everybody look at this? It's just everyone looks like this. My targets, I only taken out one target, and they do not look like this. So again, why? So there's a question mark, and that makes me want to see more. It's like, I feel like there is a reason. There was a reason for the mask. Maybe there's a reason for why they look like this. So the game has, again, I'll say it again, and I'll close with this, but it has a wonderful story hook, that it's like, I get why people are interested in going back. And it also has a really cool gameplay hook, because the gameplay is a lot of fun. Eliminating your targets, yes, some of the targets look funny as you kill them, but sneaking up and taking them out, or running in and doing just guns blazing
crazy
is both fun. And this game really so far highlights, you do it the way you want to do it. There's a lot of games that kind of punish you for not doing stealth. Right. Not this. Do it however you want. Do it stealth if you want to, take people out, or just go in gun blaze. Just make sure you have the right gun. And or an ability, because that was the other thing. Your abilities definitely help out.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That gives me a good. I appreciate your insight on it. We needed. There's a reason we needed to bring this up as a particular topic, and it's because, I mean, well, first of all, the length that we have gone through, it would have made our first segment be the whole podcast.
True.
But also the fact that this is a game that surprised us, and at the end of the day, that's the good thing that we're pursuing, right?
Yep.
There are some games that you already kind of like know what to expect, even if it's a game that you're like, I mean, fucking God of War. Like, yes, I can't wait to play that next God of War Ragnarok, but you kind of already know what you're getting into. You know that it's God of War, and you know that they're probably not gonna change that fight, that gameplay loop too much. So you just got it because you know you want more of that. There are some other games that will come out completely out of left field. You just don't know why the hell people are praising it, and it's so enticing because it sounds like the most mundane shit, or it doesn't look very well on trailers. This is one of the ones that I didn't think that even the trailer that you like, that was the better one because it gave you a little bit more insight of what was going on. But the showcases and everything else was like, nope, it didn't look great.
Yeah.
Look at, to give other examples, fucking Death Stranding.
Oh yeah,
Death Stranding is a game that was a game that It just, I mean, it looked gorgeous, and of course, it had all the pedigree. All the pedigree. We already knew, oh, this is a Hideo Kojima joint, but we don't know what a Hideo Kojima joint could end up being, because that's the whole thing with Hideo Kojima games. We just don't know. We know that we know what Metal Gear were, but even within the Metal Gears, we didn't know what type of Metal Gear would end up being.
Yeah,
So,
because there's all of them are very different from each
and
other.
they're
You know what I
different.
mean? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Coming to the Stranding, and it's a fucking delivery simulator, and you're like, what? And the elements, it doesn't look like they should work, and yet I can't wait for that next version that is coming out, because I am gonna play it again, because that looks awesome, and I really really enjoyed that game, even though I shouldn't have for any purposes I have.
Leave it to Kojima to figure out how to make that shit fascinating, how to make delivery on foot, a bunch of packages across this crazy terrain, beautiful terrain on top of that, beautifully designed world, for the record, and make it fascinating. And it's just like, and it's the thing. It's like, I think even David Gomez on the group is just like, dude, really, what is it? And it's like, we couldn't even explain it. There was just no explaining. It's like, dude, I have no idea how to tell you how this game is great and not make it sound bad, because everything I'm going to explain to you is going to be like, dude, this sounds horrible. I'm like, I know. And yet, for whatever reason, it fucking works. You know what I mean?
It works.
Yeah. That's a perfect example. Death Stranding is a fucking perfect example of that shit.
Yeah. One of the things that I enjoyed Death Stranding, believe it or not, was the soundtrack. So I meant to ask, how are you finding the soundtrack here on
dude, I am digging it. Literally, I'm going to use that phrase because it meets the 60s motif that they're going for. I am digging it. It's cool. Sometimes you run into an area and music starts because you're about to hit not a story, but like a pre-planned attack or something like that, and it's just
it's just good event.
Yeah, like an event like it's meant to be, and all this, and I'm like, oh, this is good stuff. I dig it. I really dig it. It's not the best or anything like that. I don't know if there's any licensed music or anything like that, but definitely, it's definitely cool. It's definitely cool.
There's a soundtrack there that it says with the deluxe edition.
Yes. Deja Vu is definitely in there, but you can get that shit fucking from YouTube right now. Which is, I mean, listen to that and just tell me you don't fucking think of fucking James Bond, for real. Come on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
Sure. And Cole, I gotta say, Cole as a character is pretty freaking cool. He's humorous. He's exactly the character that you are following through it. Like you're invested in his story because he's invested in his story. I don't know how to explain it, but when he gets excited, when he finally figures something out, you're excited because yes, that does make sense. You figure it out together at the same time. And the actor, the voice actor behind it is really good. So yeah.
Okay, that's good. So yeah, the example with Death Stranding, it's not the only one that had done. Obviously, there have been other games where, for some reason, this game didn't sound like it should be as good as it ended up being. Spec Ops: The Line was one of those games that
never played it. That's a hole in my history.
You didn't play, and to be honest with you, it's not necessarily about the game. The gameplay. I mean, the gameplay will be dated by now. Back then, it was still kind of fresh, so I guess a little bit more credit back in the day. But the presentation, the things that it was trying to, that it was trying to show on like trailers and stuff like that, it made it look like, okay, this is just another mundane military shooter, except that this one is in third person. Oh, okay. And dude, it ended up being like a wonderful experience story wise. As far as I can remember, I really, really enjoyed what that game had to offer, and I would love to see a proper remake of that game. Would be nice to have again. Um, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna include Katamari Damacy here because that's one of my favorite games,
No need
actually.
to apologize,
And
sir.
those games are super, super great. In their fun factor, graphically, they're terrible. I mean, they're PS2 graphics. You know, even their later iterations, you can
Kept
still
it.
say,
Yeah, it kept the
yeah,
same
it
aesthetic.
kept the same. Exactly, and with reason. I wouldn't want it changed for the world because, especially that original, that first Katamari Damacy, it's like my favorite. You know that it was a game that really surprised me. It surprised a lot of people because it didn't look like the premise of it, just having your Katamari ball and just rolling shit out. You know, you're tiny and you're trying to roll things out, make stuff bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger to the point to make your Katamari bigger to the point where you're rolling. At some point, you're fucking rolling like the literal continents of the planet.
It's so awesome. So fucking awesome.
And it doesn't stop there, but I won't say anymore. I'll say that hell yeah. Yeah, it is quite an experience, to have and one that you did play it, you did try it. It didn't stick with you. I really wish it would have grabbed you
Me
at some
too.
point
I'm
where
not gonna
maybe the
lie.
lull was lower. Maybe you were occupied with more with other more interesting things, but on a lull, this is a perfect game to just go all the way to the end because it is great, and I love the credits of this game. Anyway, uh, that's except I just remember, uh, Condemned Criminal Origins. I've always mentioned as one of my top horror games. Was a game that sounded like it was gonna be super boring because it was you.
Really? Okay.
Well, at the beginning, because it sounded like it was you're not even shooting. Back in the day, games were all about that. The fact that having the mechanic of just meleeing didn't sound enticing, and yet he super worked on this one.
Mm.
I wouldn't necessarily say it was like at the caliber of these other surprises, but it was one that really surprised me. I can't tell you how much I love that game. Um, and yeah, I guess Middle Earth, Shadow of Mordor. I wouldn't say it
Yeah,
was a particularly phenomenal game, but
being
it
sort of
did
a
have,
licensed title, I can definitely peg that a little bit under. Like, didn't think
yeah,
that was going to be great. It turned out actually to be pretty fun.
yeah, and it did the concept that so far still no other game have been able to duplicate properly. I would say, some games have tried and some have gotten close, but uh, the fucking what was the name of that system? The Oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank now because it's two
Oh,
two
the
thirty in the
Nemesis
morning.
system. Yeah, yeah.
Nemesis, thank you. The Nemesis system, where your enemies will remember you. That was kind of fascinating,
That was well
and
done. Yeah,
something that is very, very, very well done. Yeah, exactly.
that they finally freaking, like, what do you
Back in
call that?
it,
They finally made it a registered trade, not a registered trademark. They patented it.
oh,
They finally
they
patented
patented
this
it.
shit. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because that is something that I haven't seen another game and many games that they could have taken advantage of something like that, and they haven't done. Well, maybe
Mm,
because it's patented now, but still,
maybe.
those are the games that I thought that on a similar vein, in some way or another, they were kind of surprising. I'm sure you guys could think of more, and if you can, by all means, please share them below because those are like if I see a game there that I haven't played, I'll probably be interested in
And
going
trying it
into
out.
it.
Yeah.
Like I am interested in trying out, Deadloop, whether it grabs me or not, whether I play through the end or just play 5 hours of it and be like, yeah, no, this is not for me. I still think that it's an experience that I'll be happy to have, regardless, and for my own opinion.
Yeah, I like it. I think you will too. I really do.
All right, fine. I'll buy it then. Here we go. PayPal done. Here, click.
No,
You
got tails. You got tails.
Oh, I mean, I'll play that. I don't know. I'll get to it. Don't worry. Don't you worry.
All right, guys. Well, that brings us to the end of an awesome real episode 280. GG's the Mouthful Podcast. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. If this is your first time, please don't forget to go to goodgame.rocks, join the conversation there. And of course, please like, subscribe, and share this podcast with everyone. This is Mad Dog signing off this week, saying, if at first you don't succeed, die again. Mr. Santos, take us home. Mr. Dreamy, take us home.
Quite original. I'm going to stick to the slogan of the game that told me to prepare to die.
Oh.
And I'm going to play some little bit of Dark Souls. Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I need to put those cinders where they belong.
For the love of Christ, yes. Dear Lord, yes. All right, guys. So we'll see you next week. GG!